Well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Great to be here with you on a Thursday. My voice is going. You guys can tell a little bit. Probably because I spent most of my day screaming into the phone yesterday. Take you guys inside the mind of a psychopath here in a moment. I'm Woodsy. In fact, that is the psychopath in question. Paul Ryle, executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great, man. To my left, the calming influence of Ben and Woods, Benjamin R. Higgins.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I feel like I need to do some work this morning.
No, you already
calming
did.
You
already did. I'm fine. I'm good.
Good.
I'm fine. But I will take you inside the mind of a true psychopath, myself, as I am on this journey of self-discovery, this journey of getting in touch with me and trying to be the best version of myself. Doesn't always come out, right? Like, it's hard. We're not always our best versions of ourselves. And I do wonder if I should give this man a chance to wake up and maybe call in this morning. What do you think?
No.
Okay. Just go right to it.
Yeah, I think
okay.
just jump right in.
Fair enough. All right. So yesterday, this is what happens every day, but I went to pick Bo up from school, and I've got some time to kill. I go moronically early to sit and wait, and I have a parking spot. But I like to go. I like to do my phone calls and my texts and stuff in the car, and I wait so he's doesn't walk out and his old man's not there. So I call Paulie, as I usually do. Just shoot the breeze. Paulie probably rolls his eyes every day he gets. He's like, oh, God, here we go. And and Paulie's laughing. We were talking for a second, and he goes, dude, it's so funny. I go, what? He goes, I literally just got off the phone with our boss, Adam, our beloved Adam. And I said, oh, yeah? What did he have to say? Because we had a meeting with Adam after the show yesterday, yeah, about the Christmas and holiday extravaganza. And I said, what was that about? He goes, well, he called to ask me if I wanted to host afternoons 2 to 6 on Friday. And I go, oh. And I go, what'd you say? And he goes, well, I told him no. I said, that's a ridiculously long day. And I said, well, who would you be with? He's like, it would just be me. And I go, well, that's insanity. Like, I couldn't do that with a gun to my head. 4 hours solo in the off season. November? Bro, forget it. And I go, what did you say? And he goes, I told him absolutely not. It was going to be too long of a day. And this is what got me. This is what made my hair turn white. Is he said, well, I was just going to pull you off of Ben and Woods on Friday, and then I'll put me or Italian Paul in, and then you can host. That's when your boy lost his mind. I go, excuse me?
It was more like, from my perspective, hey, Woods, you're never going to believe this.
Yeah.
So I just got off the phone with Adam.
Yeah,
He asked if I wanted to host afternoons on Friday. What?
That's how it really sounded?
Yeah. And so instead of a long day, I think it would just be like I do the afternoon show, and then he or Frank fills in for me in the morning. What?
I go, excuse me? I go, absolutely not. There's no way. And when I said it, I didn't mean it to be a joke, but I said, why would we rob Peter to pay Paul?
Said,
Literally, Paul. Literally. So I'm sitting there going, wait. So this is when I say I'm a psychopath, this is what I'm talking about. So obviously it was an overreaction on my part, because it usually is. And so then I go home and I think about it, and I lay in bed last night, and this is what goes through my mind. Am I standing in the way of Paul Ryle being a host? Did he, in fact, say thanks but no thanks? Not because it's not something he desires, but he didn't want to make me mad. So did he go home and tell his wife, yeah, I guess I could have hosted Friday, but I knew Woods would hit the roof, and I guess I'll just kick that dream on down the road. And
so let me just stop you right there. I want to get more inside the mind of this psychopath before us.
Dude, it's nuts.
You know that's not true.
I know it's not true.
So why does that even reach your brain? You know that's not true.
Are we sure? Hold on. Now, Paulie, you grew up in Seattle area, listening to sports talk radio, guys like Softy,
the
like
great
legend in the game. Now he hosts, doesn't he host in the afternoons
yeah,
as well?
Yeah.
Afternoon guy.
3 to 7 or
Yep.
3 to 7. Could you have ever imagined that when you were growing up, like in 15 years, you'd be working at a very successful radio station, #1 station in town, and your boss would come and say, Paulie, we'd like you to host the show like Softy in the afternoon, a 4-hour show, the Paul Reindl Show. You'd like
Now, if Ben would have called me yesterday,
gave
you
you
might
that-
be screwed tomorrow.
He gave you that sales pitch?
He's selling.
like this is the dream, Paulie. You got a chance to make your mark on the world of sports talk radio with your own 4-hour program on a highly successful radio station.
I feel like Rod Tidwell right now. Like, yeah, this is working. Keep going. Keep going. No.
Yeah, more and more.
So here's the thing. Not really. Like, maybe at one point that was an aspiration, but a couple things to that. I've gotten really good at what I do, I think.
Yes,
You
you
are.
have.
And the three of us,
the best
as a
I've ever
unit,
worked with by
far.
wide margin. And no offense to other, board ops and producers I've worked with, but Paulie, you are a master and a genius at what you do.
Part 2 of that equation is that I'm already on a successful show where I can kind of just jump in and say what I need to say whenever I feel like it.
That was the other part of it for me is like, in my mind, I went, and I said this on the phone to Paulie, and I guess I shouldn't have spoken for him, but I said, what creative itch do you need to scratch? I said, you have carte blanche to do whatever you want. Like, you have your own segment. If you want another segment, I'll give you another one. I've never, ever, Paul, you can attest to this. I've never said, sorry, bro, you got to stay under our thumb here and be our producer. But it doesn't make any sense to me ever to weaken your morning show to just fill in for an afternoon show. No offense to anybody. That's not meant to be offensive. Like, don't weaken. You don't take one head of the threeness away.
Well, now 2 day parts are suffering.
Now 2 day parts are suffering. Correct. And so, look, because nothing against Italian Paul or even Adam filling in on the board, it ain't the same. It's not the same. And we had a commitment to each other years ago, and it was never really spoken. But it was essentially like, look, man, it's all for one and one for all. We are the Three Musketeers. We will stick together. Let's all become the greatest we can be at our
A
respective.
threesome would be fun.
Let's all become the best we can be at our respective roles on the show. I'm never going to try to be Ben. Ben should never try to be me. We're never going to be Paulie. But I said, why would you take my producer away? Why would you take my producer away? That's when we need to be the best we can be on Friday. Not we need to be at 2/3 strength. So my mind went, I was a rocket ship. And now I didn't call him. I just sat on it and I stewed on it and I laid in bed last night going, so then you know how else my mind works? Guilt. Ravaged with guilt. So then to myself I thought, well, I guess I could just come in and do the show if I need to. Like if they need. So now Paulie's put in this weird position because he's got to say no, and that makes him feel bad.
So you're not wrong that you do apply some unspoken pressure on both of us in
Me?
terms. Yeah, you do.
How so?
As you said, it was unspoken, but you do set
Sounds
the
like
tone
it was
of,
extremely unspoken.
you do set the tone of expectations for what you want this show to be, and it's actually a really, really, really good thing. But I think Paulie and I do both feel it, and I don't want you to feel guilty about it. I want you to feel proud that you have a couple of people here who would like to live up to your standards.
You guys already do.
Of
and
what
have.
you want
And-
radio
and
to be.
You've exceeded it.
Don't feel guilty about having high standards.
You guys have
one,
exceeded it.
But no one should feel guilty about having high standards. Does sometimes it mean, Paulie, be honest, because I feel this way too. Does sometimes it mean like, all right, we got to make sure Woods is going to be happy with this.
Wait.
and
How did
okay
I
with
become the
this?
villain here?
You're not the villain.
No. Adam is the villain.
You're not
I
the
didn't
villain.
do anything. All I wanted to do is come in and do my show with the three of us like we always do on a Friday. Shouldn't be flipped on me. I support everybody. I'm happy. I just want to come in and kick ass in the morning. That's it.
I think to answer your question, Ben, I think that desire to want to produce good quality radio was always there for me, and Woods just naturally brought it out the best.
I see that as well. And I feel the same way.
Like, I don't feel like, I don't like roll my eyes.
Be honest. You don't worry about me, and I don't worry about you. But we both worry about him a little bit.
You should.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
That's true. It's 100% true, and I'm telling you, it's a good thing. It really is a good thing. Now, if we were all that way,
it'd be a nightmare.
It would be a nightmare. Yeah. And if we were all like me,
it would be a nightmare.
Would be kind of a nightmare as well.
Yeah.
It's why the show works.
It's why it's always worked. Which is why you don't break it up. It's why you don't break it up when you don't have to.
You've had other shows where it's been too much in the other direction.
Yep.
And for some reason, and this was really just dumb luck, honestly.
It's such dumb luck.
When they put us together.
It made no sense.
The personalities of the three of us are very complimentary in terms of how, not just on the air during our 4-hour show, but the other 20 hours of the day when we're not on the air. It's very complimentary in being able to get things done, divide the work, divide conquer, what needs to be worried about and what doesn't need to be worried about. And I can't say that we actually, we put in work to make that happen, but a lot of it is just the natural of who we are and how we approach things. And we're very lucky that way.
We are very lucky. So I guess I didn't understand. And then I laid there last night and my brain just wouldn't stop of like, all right, am I standing in Paulie's way? Now, let's be honest, if we're just in here being honest right now. When you said no, and you say it had nothing to do with me. When you said no, did you feel like a turd because you weren't helping out the 97.3 The Fan? Yeah, and that's the other unintended consequence of when that happens.
This wasn't the first time I've been asked to do a show, whether it's a weekend show, morning, whatever. Yeah. Like sometimes you guys have been like we've taken a show off where you both were gone or had something going on, and I was just cool. I'm taking the day off. I'm 100% because I'm not doing a 4-hour show by myself. I don't have like segments and bits and games, planned and all that. Like, if I did, we'd be doing it on Ben and Woods.
Exactly. It's exactly right.
So, yeah.
And listen.
And I told him, I'm like, look, he's like, I know I've asked you in the past. I'm like, hey, I appreciate the offer. I do. You're thinking I could do that. And in my mind, I'm like, don't you ever ask him again. And I said, just, you can keep asking if you want, but the idea of grinding an off-season week, doing 4 hours in the morning, and then like getting off work at 6 p.m. and sitting in traffic. I'm like,
I can't imagine. And it's not. That's the thing is like, and Paulie then was on the phone to me, beating himself up a little bit, going, does that mean I'm like not a grinder? I go, bro. You're the guy that's on call for him 24/7. You're making graphics and stuff for the station. I go, you do a ton, man. You do a ton of it. Admin.
You're on call for him. You're on call for me.
Yeah, I said, you're on call.
Ben doesn't really call me.
No, I said, don't worry about it. But so I'm nonplussed by the whole situation. I don't know what they're going to do now. But now, of course, I'm laying there last night going, should I just come in and do it?
Yeah,
am I not a team player? Are we not team players if we don't come in and do a double shift?
I don't know. Maybe we should just put it up for the tier ones.
Let them do it.
Have a tier 1 show. Come on in, and we can have some of our moderators.
Boy, I think they tried that at another station. I don't think it worked very well.
I'll do the afternoon show on Friday if you guys do it as well. And it might just sound exactly like tomorrow morning's
Maybe
show.
you just replay our show from 2 to 6. If you do us a solid.
Here's the thing: if you really wanted it, if we knew in your heart it was important to you, we'd both be there for you.
Correct.
I believe that.
That's true.
We would do the Paul Reindl show from 2 to 6,
featuring Ben and Woods.
Ben and Woods.
Oh, and by the way, Bo and Taylor, because Mama just got on a plane to New York City, so it would be Paulie featuring Ben, Woods, Bo, and Taylor for 4 hours on a Friday. Again, I've said this a million times. Paulie said, if Paulie came to me and goes, dude, I love doing this. I love our success, everything else, but I really want to be a host. You know me. I'd be like, well, let's get you up to speed. Paulie, let me listen to a couple of your ideas. Paulie, let me help you. You know I would. You know I'm a coach by nature. All I want to do is be like a consultant. So maybe if I coach you into success, I can quit and just consult other upstart young hosts. And I said, please, if he ever came to me and said, I really, really want to be a host, we would help him launch his career somewhere. That's how we are wired, Ben, both of us. And
Probably already would have happened.
it probably already would have happened. So I don't know what to do. I feel guilty. I feel guilty for being mad at Adam. I know Adam's, he's just trying to do his job and cover that shift.
It's
but
not your fault.
You can't take my producer from me on a Friday. You just can't. I need him. We need him.
Roth in
tier
the
ones
chat
need
says
him.
therapy going well this morning.
It's going great.
So we talked it out. It was a little extra foreplay there. I think we've come to a good resolution.
Do you
though.
think so?
I
Because
don't know.
I could do 45 more minutes on this.
I don't know that Adam has come to any resolution. He still has 4 hours to fill on a Friday.
Yes, he does. Yes,
and that could be a problem.
We could just spend the rest of the morning finding a fill-in host.
That's
for
true.
him. Auditions live on Ben and
open
Woods.
tryouts.
Shout out SD. Let's take some phone calls. Hey, and listen, just so you know, you don't have the chops for it. I don't have the chops for it. He doesn't have the chops for 4 hours. I've been there just going.
I've been doing this 25 years. The thought of just sitting down and
Repulsive.
going, you've got 4 hours is
It's you and Adam.
frightening.
It's
it's frightening.
I did it. I'm the only one that's done it with Adam, just me and him. It was the worst day of my life. I was like, this was excruciatingly difficult. So kudos to all of
I mean, the solo show.
is impossible.
It's kind of lost art at this point. I mean, everybody's got somebody to like kick ideas off of.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, dude.
Sidekick, whatever.
Would
Like,
you've been hosting running the board too, like yourself?
I would imagine he would have had a board.
Maybe.
board up,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Which is even worse.
Scravy just sits there, runs the board, and does his own show. It's only an hour, but
That's
he just
insane,
sits
man.
there by himself for an entire hour.
But
That's
again, I'd
insane.
feel like a jerk if I'm coming up with all these ideas that I think are good, right?
I'm listening, going,
Whether or not
wait,
they're-
where was that?
Yeah, whether or not they're good or not is besides the point. If I thought they were good enough to try on tomorrow afternoon's show, I'm like, well, why weren't we doing these in the morning?
He comes up with these brilliant games and ideas, and I'm
Just
listening.
A-list guests.
I'm listening at home, just rocking back and forth.
Crap. That would have been pretty funny.
That would have actually been really good. Now, the other thing
Still
is,
saying no.
listening to Paul absolutely drown for 4 hours would have been a great Monday show. Not for Paul, but for me and you and for the tier ones.
See, now here's a great idea. EC Money, just a show full of drops. Just play them for 4 straight hours.
you can't.
The entire board.
You can't do it. You can't do it. There's got to be structure to one of these
Hooter
shows.
research.
Ben, you do a great job.
I love Polsky.
Ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
You guys want that?
Coming back with our next
All right, we'll be
segment.
back with our next trough of drops. All right, we are way late. Oh God, that's so good.
We laugh, but today is the 1-year anniversary of an incredibly sad day in San Diego. But I don't
yes.
want this to be a sad day, and I don't think he'd want this to be a sad day either. But we'll talk about it when we come back. Set the menu for a Throwback Thursday edition of Ben and Woods. Thank you for indulging us. You do every single morning. It's Ben Higgins, it's Paul Rindle, it's Stephen Woods. We got Kelly Danick's Traffic, and then back in a minute here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
So it was 1 year ago that we lost Peter Seidler here in San Diego. And while that remains just a transformatively and sad moment for not just the Padres, but the city, I also think that the legacy is the planet,
the literal
yes.
planet. Like that's not a joke. Like the literal planet.
It feels like the legacy continues on as strong as ever, and anyone is going to have the far-reaching impact that Peter Seidler just continues to shape us, how we feel, how we want this community to be going forward, that we carry on that legacy that's so important that it makes me feel like it's almost a happy day. Even though it's sad, it's also just the fact that you can have an impact like the one that he had in his life is, to me, something that warms my heart to this very day.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that, and I see so many people still talking about, the legacy, and it goes so far beyond of winning a World Series. I mean, obviously that's what he, one of the things that he wanted to do. But man, I often, I'm a dad. I think about his kids. I think about how fond they are of him. I think about the day that he passed away. We hadn't talked to him in a while. We had planned on talking to him, and it did not work out, and never got a chance to, really say goodbye to him. So we did that show, and every time I've talked to his widow, Sheil, she's thanked me every single time for that show because her kids can go back and listen to the callers, us talking about our experiences with him, and just a great man and an example, a really fine example. And I know I at home with my kids fall very, very short of the example that Peter Seidler said. I know I fall short in every single way, but it's certainly something to aspire to, to at least try to have more Peter Seidler in you.
I still think back to, just some of the little interactions we had with him the day we were freezing cold at spring training, and he came out bundled up, and I mean we were all
we were just panicked,
absolutely
panicked.
freezing. Like
But we
can't have this man.
panicked.
We
Yeah.
can't have this man out here. We're all going to freeze to death on the patio in Peoria.
Also, it's like maybe you morons don't make the owner wait outside for 20 minutes. Like, what were we doing that we couldn't just bang immediately and just bring him on?
He was like lingering in the
and
background,
I'm like,
waiting.
And I'm doing the like, so sorry, 5 minutes. We'll be right with you. Just idiots. Just total idiots. But no, he's a great man. I love his whole family, man. I love Tom and the ones I've met, and Sheila I just adore, and the kids of his that I've met, they're just fantastic. And you think about it with your children, like what will my legacy be? Screaming at his boss probably will be my legacy. But he's somebody that you aspire to be like. Whether it's out there trying to help your community, whether it's trying to be a great husband and father, no matter what it is, he's just a great example, man. And there's just not many of those left.
Obviously, the Padres set up the Peter Seidler Legacy Foundation, and they've done the matching donations all this past year. The Tier 1 baseball team, via Stephen Woods, has donated tons. I mean,
We've had a great time with it,
raised
too.
thousands of dollars because of that. But if you want to do something to remember Peter, you don't even have to give $1 today. Just think of someone else. Like, be caring about someone else in your life. Someone you know, someone you don't know, complete stranger. To me, as I've thought about it more and more this last year, that really was Peter's legacy, is that he cared not just about his family or the Padres family or Padres fans or his employees. He cared about everybody. He cared about complete strangers that he would run into on the street that he didn't know their story, the unhoused, the people who have nothing in this world. And he cared. He just didn't do it because, this would look good, public relations wise. He did it because he absolutely cared about those people, his midnight strolls that were, became famous after his passing. And to me, that is the most incredible legacy of all. The one thing that's probably the hardest for the rest of us to live up to. It's hard to care about people you don't know, that you don't see, that you're probably not going to interact with. It's easy to care about someone you see every day or your own family, but caring about people that you don't know, that you've never met, but genuinely caring about them, that's his greatest legacy.
No doubt.
Peter had more money than any of us could ever dream of, and you would never have known it if you just ran into him. And you could.
He didn't act like it.
You could find online pictures of him holding, the big checks, and those are easy photo ops for people like a Peter Seidler. Think about the thousands of stories though that you don't know about.
Of course.
The person that he helped at a 7-Eleven,
right?
The person that he helped on the street, the person that he helped at the ballpark, whatever. Like the photo opportunities, those are always there.
Yeah, you have to do them actually. Like you can't if you can't own a baseball team and not like have to do those.
Exactly, but they're just the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of stories of interactions that Peter had with people that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
That's what always inspired me about him.
Kyle just says what a horrible gut punch that was. I remember where I was. It was just such a shock. We'll keep the legacy going, Papa Pete. Yeah, 100%, man. I woke up in L.A. and was just the drive home was terrible, and I can't believe it's been a year, man. That year has actually flown by, and man, was proud to know him, loved him, the whole thing.
Yeah, and obviously baseball wise, he changed things really forever here in San Diego. Changed the game, the investment that he made in his team and his players, and we talked about it yesterday. Advocating for maybe a little extra spending here this offseason for the Padres. And I understand payrolls will go up, they will go down. It's a business, they will fluctuate. What I don't want to see stop, though, and I don't think is going to, with AJ Preller as the general manager, that dedicated pursuit to win a World Series. It may look different in different years. You have different strategies. Subtracting $90 million and getting as close as you've gotten in a while.
Strategy.
That's a strategy. But I mean, you don't know what's eventually going to work. But I don't doubt that the strategy is still, hey, we want to win a World Series. There may be different ways to go about it, but that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to, bring in 25,000 fans and have a nice experience at the ballpark. And
Those days are gone, man.
Maybe finish 500. They want to win a World Series. I know they do at that team. And that's also Peter's baseball legacy here in San Diego.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, we're a little overdue. Just quickly on the menu, we will talk some Padres, including a new opinion on Roki Sasaki's potential landing spot.
Stuff here.
Interesting stuff. I've got a couple of under-the-radar free agents that, there's a ton of names out there. No idea who the Padres are actually pursuing, but there's got to be a couple of surprises coming our way, right? I mean,
they're every year.
At some point, there's going to be a drop. Oh, the Padres just signed blank, and we go, didn't see that coming. So I want to see if we can try to guess as to who one or two of those guys might be this offseason. So we'll talk about that. It's a Throwback Thursday. We'll take it back in our 7 o'clock hour to one of our favorite moments.
Oh, not a favorite moment, actually.
Not a favorite. Well, this was not a great moment personally, but it's fine. We'll bring it back.
One of your worst, I would
It's actually
say.
one of your worst moments.
And then 8:35, we'll have a good friend joining us. He's got his big Wishbone Brawl coming up at Goat Hill Park. The caretaker, John Ashworth.
The GOAT.
If you haven't heard who is going to be the headliner
Oh, my God.
next week up in Oceanside, then stay tuned. You'll be surprised.
Staggering.
You're going to be surprised. So we'll talk to him at 8:35. Our football threesome at 9:20. And then head on to 10 o'clock in Annie and Elston this morning. But we'll come back, a little Padres talk and some new Roki Sasaki news when we return on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
Is it possible the Dodgers are not the favorites to land pitcher Roki Sasaki of Japan this offseason? Some new thoughts on the subject coming out this morning. And I think they echo, actually, some of the things I've been thinking and saying about the pursuit of Roki Sasaki. We'll get to those right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a solo vehicle accident in Santee, eastbound 52, just past Cuyahoga. It's up to the right shoulder. Also traveling on northbound 15 past Friars Road. Watch out for what looks like a large trash can bouncing around in the left lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I will say a lot of smart baseball people have written a lot of words about Roki Sasaki in this past week. And I respect all of their opinions, but anything you hear right now about Roki Sasaki is almost certainly just an opinion. I don't think there's any actual reporting or knowledge of what he intends to do other than come over. He has said himself, I am ready to come over and play in the United States, and I am beginning the process of getting posted. Beyond that, it's just speculation and trying to make some logical leaps. And most reporters, Woods, as you've seen, have made the logical leap that the Dodgers are anywhere from slight to heavy favorites to land Roki Sasaki.
I actually haven't seen them slight at all. This is the first real person going on record giving them a slight chance, a more slight chance than 85%.
So Jim Bowden's been very opinionated in his joining The Athletic, former general manager of the Washington Nationals. Always seems to have thoughts. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's dead wrong about his opinions. But he's the first person in a piece that was posted early this morning that actually doesn't believe Roki Sasaki is going to end up with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And he lists a couple of reasons for it. He feels like Sasaki, to make up for the fact that he won't be able to sign a big contract, he has to sign a minor league deal with a minimal signing bonus. He's going to try to make that up in endorsement money. But he feels like with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto already with the Dodgers, that really puts a cap and a ceiling on what Roki Sasaki, who would be the third most popular Japanese player on his own team, would actually be able to make in endorsement money. So he feels like that's actually a big point against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He also feels like the intense media scrutiny that would involve joining the Dodgers and their just horde of Japanese reporters that follows Shohei's every single move, probably not desirable to a 23-year-old who's coming over from Japan, that he would much rather land somewhere that's not quite in the eye of the storm when it comes to Japanese. And they have some gnarly media coverage over there.
They said as high as 25 to 35 people per game, every game. Again, following Shohei's every single move. Makes sense. He's the Elvis of Japan. I mean, it makes perfect sense. That's how they that's how they do it, man. And yeah, if you're coming over, that's a lot. It's already going to be a lot. Hey, brand new country, brand new language, brand new teammates, brand new city, brand new, how to get around, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's one little piece of copium I think we can bite down on and hope for that. Maybe a nice, maybe a nice laid-back beach town, with some soft media like Ben and me.
Well, they'll have Japanese reporters here. They already do for you, Darvish.
Yep.
There's like one or two that follow you. There was one or two that followed Ha-Sung Kim from Korea. He won't go unnoticed.
Correct. Not going under the radar anywhere, really.
It won't be like TMZ. Essentially, if you're Shohei Ohtani, it's the TMZ cameras. You are... Unless you're like in your own home and the curtains are down, someone is filming you, someone is watching you every second of the day.
I saw a gnarly video with Yoshinobu Yamamoto walking with his wife down the street and not getting assaulted per se, but just worn out by the media. And he's like, yeah. Like it's just more. It's LA. That's what you do there. That's not a knock. That's just what happens.
One thing that I'm pretty convinced of is that the Dodgers don't really have to go through the process that the rest of the teams do. He either wants to be a Dodger, play with Ohtani and Yamamoto, or he doesn't. And I don't think there's much the Dodgers can or can't do to change his mind. If he's already decided, it's my dream to play with Shohei, I want to join this team. What can any of the other 29 teams offer?
Nothing.
That
That's
can compare
probably
with
the
that.
easiest courting of all 30
Nothing.
teams.
And-
I mean, for the Dodgers, like they're the class of Major
Correct,
League Baseball
correct.
right now.
But-
you either want us or you don't.
Conversely, if he doesn't want that, if he doesn't want to be the third player from Japan on that team, if he doesn't want to join a team that's already won a World Series and have that, pressure of the Japanese and Los Angeles media circus, then they have no chance. There's nothing they can do to talk him into it at that point, I think. It's pretty much, I think, already decided one way or another. The Dodgers are either it or they're definitely not it.
Yeah, and what Jim says in his article, quote, based on what I'm hearing, I think the Padres, Rays, Mets, and Braves are all more likely to sign Sasaki than the Dodgers. And several other teams will be in the mix. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't be surprised if he ends up in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like, it's about where he feels comfortable. It's about what's best for him.
But if all these teams are in the mix, as everyone
I'd
speculates.
be surprised if he ended up in Colorado.
Yes, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. A young pitcher subjecting himself to Coors Field.
Coors Field, that team.
No, he's like, I really want the challenge. It's like, no, you don't. His agent's like, you don't have. No, like, I can find you other challenges. Okay, like
their payroll is $14 million.
It's still going to be a challenge wherever you go, Roki. But yeah, I mean, due process of elimination. I mean, literally 29 other teams.
If he truly only wants to maximize his endorsements,
New York,
the Yankees would be
or the Mets.
I would think the biggest choice.
And even the Mets. The Mets have Kodai Senga.
Do the Yankees have any Japanese stars?
No.
I mean, the Yankees.
He'd be the first since Hideki Matsui as a major Japanese star playing in pinstripes.
Godzilla, the best. I love that guy. Man, he was good. He was a good player.
I mean, as far as like global brand awareness in all major sports, it's the Yankees, the Cowboys, the Lakers.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's not even a question. The Yankee hat. It's a fashion statement.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be a player too. But again, if you're talking about some of the things that Jim Bowden's talking about, Bowden. Talking about some of those things. Yeah, you're coming over here and you're going to join the New York Yankees. Is that? Are you ready for that? Like, are you ready for all that comes with it? This kid's makeup, from what I understand, is pretty solid. So I think, look, whoever gets him, they're going to be supremely lucky. I do like that the Padres were mentioned kind of first in this.
Well, I think the Padres are the balanced choice.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the biggest market, but they're also not a backwater that's, it's the West Coast. It's a team that's ready to win.
Yeah.
It's a ballpark.
They got good players.
Good players, good atmosphere to pitch in.
Good pitching coach.
They've got the most balanced argument.
Yeah.
They don't maybe have the best argument for anything, but they've got a very well-rounded argument in terms of support with Hideo Nomo and Yu Darvish. He's got a little bit of everything that he might be looking for with the Padres organization.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I'll put this on record. I'll give up my 7 Mile Casino money for Roki Sasaki to take my place at 7 Mile. As much as I love 7 Mile, I will step aside, sir. How about you?
I'm not sure that would be allowed under Major League Baseball
The casino
current rules.
All right.
but
Well, let me think. No, can't have QC Kinetics. I really.
you want to keep that one.
Yeah, because I get hurt a lot.
If he'd he's a slender fellow, but if he needs some SDFatloss.com,
I'm not giving him Eco
endorsement
Water.
money,
I'm not giving him Eco Water. I'm sorry. I love the Eco Water. They come and they rip the system out of my home. I'm furious. Even if it means Roki Sasaki, I'm not giving that
I'm
up.
Roki Sasaki for Prize Picks.
Yeah, for Prize Picks.
Would you like to pick more or less than 8.5 strikeouts for me today?
Oh, yeah. Masahiro Tanaka was a
In
huge
the
Japanese
Yankees,
star
yeah.
for the Yankees. Yeah, he was.
More
He was
recently
really
than
good.
Hideki Matsui. That's true.
But yeah, Jay says Seattle too. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I think they've got a chance.
they had Ichiro and look, we've done this with every single player that's come over from Japan. But and Dominic says, how does this work? Are all GMs coming in for the pitch like Shark Tank? I really have no idea. From what I understand, I mean, the courting process I think is going on as we speak.
I don't know if technically until he's been posted, because there's a 45-day window.
But like
And
I don't know where these videos are new, old, whatever. But there's a video going around of Yu Darvish helping him work on his slider. That could have been in the offseason. I have no idea. But I know Yu was in Japan.
They were together on the World Baseball Classic team in
Sure.
2023.
That
So
could have
that's
been
when
from that.
some of the Yu Darvish stuff came. And you can't stop I mean, a player from talking to a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think A.J. Preller can officially, like, knock on his door and make a pitch until he has been posted in that 45-day
Bowden says at the
window
very end, his
opens.
last sentence in the Athletics is, "We won't know the winner until January 15th or later."
So that's the other little thing that Bowden at least believes. And again, I think this is just his opinion, but it hasn't been officially announced when he's being posted. It makes way more sense for him to wait until after December
money.
2nd so he can sign on January 15th and get more money when all those pools
Open up.
are refreshed, and every team has, theoretically their maximum amount to offer him. When if he signed before that, there's only the Dodgers, and they only have like a third of what they could normally offer. So it really doesn't make any sense to sign before then. So I do expect him to wait, as Jim Bowden said, until January 15th to sign.
Do we need to do more to help recruit? I asked Paulie the other day, should we learn some Japanese? Should we try to court him through social media? How about a billboard campaign?
But could that also backfire?
Well,
I don't want to do anything that's going to backfire.
he's not going to be
Exactly what I
mad. He's not going to be. But the problem is, if he signs with the Dodgers, we have egg on our face. But I don't mind having egg.
I don't mind having egg on our face. I don't want him to like sign with the Dodgers and go, I was going to sign with the Padres, and then I saw a billboard and it just turned me off.
That's what's in.
I don't want to even take the chance that we could negatively impact the pursuit of Roki Sasaki.
On what planet, though, is Ben and Woods wants Roki Sasaki? Is that negative? I'm going to look into it and see how much it costs.
Not sure.
Maybe like a
Should
bus.
the mural guys make a mural of him somewhere?
God. A bus bench campaign, perhaps? If anybody's listening that sells outdoor, hit me up. We'll
Take
see
an
what's
ad
what.
out in the paper.
Take an ad out in the paper.
Outdoor advertising, that's the industry lingo for billboards and bus benches.
Yeah, outdoor. Yeah, I had some friends that worked in outdoor. Tough gig. You make a lot of money, though, but it's a tough gig.
Would you rather have a billboard or a bus bench? I
Me?
think a billboard.
Ben and Woods? Oh, billboard. Are you
Because
kidding?
the bus bench people are just sitting on your face.
They're not-
Essentially.
What about an actual bus ad, like on the
That's
Ooh,
what I'm
like a
talking
wrapped
about.
bus?
No,
Yeah, not wrapped, but like the side panel.
Oh, I thought you were
of the
talking
bus.
about a bus bench.
Oh, that too,
Like,
where people are just you're there
Waiting at the bus stop.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I meant like a bus.
Or those trolley ads are pretty cool, where they wrap the whole thing, where even the windows are covered, but you can still see out of the windows, even though you can from the outside it looks like it's covered, but from the inside
Like
you
during
can still
Comic-Con, all the
yeah, you
trolleys.
can see out the windows. It's very cool.
It is cool. That was our old boss here got me in another show a little picture of us on the front of the studio, and that was our big marketing campaign. For people that walk through the building we were already in. He's like, "Don't say I never did anything for you. Look, you have a picture of yourself in the front of the studio. Well, it's great. No one can see it."
All right, we'll come back. Take on Woods, a chance to qualify for a trip to Las
Real or
Vegas, and a real or fake on
fake.
Throwback
That's right.
Thursday. Thank you, Paulie, on 97.3 The Fan. very mad when we speculate that Roki Sasaki won't be signing with them.
They get so upset.
And we have lots of Dodgers fans on our stream, on our YouTube feed. It is a sensation. The Ben and Woods program has become the number one spot, I think, for Dodgers fans to be checking in. Now, let's be real. Dodgers aren't getting shut out this offseason. They are going to land.
I think they'll add some valuable pieces.
They're going to land some players, whether it's Sasaki. It doesn't look like it's going to be Juan Soto, though, based on recent reporting. Jeff Passan, yesterday, as part of his piece on the pursuit of Juan Soto, said the Dodgers, what he's hearing, is that they are not going to aggressively pursue Juan Soto. They will, of course, listen, if turns out the market for Soto is very soft and the price tag comes down.
It's not, and it won't.
Well, I agree with that as well. But
it's not soft, and it will not come down.
Ironically,
Wow.
we thought that 5 years ago.
Lucky.
About Manny Machado, that the market was probably going to be too robust for the Padres to be part of it. But later, on and close to spring training, all of a sudden it was like, no, they are definitely in the mix here. And then the fateful day that he did sign with the Padres. I don't foresee that happening with Juan Soto. He has other teams more clearly as favorites. He actually talked about the Toronto Blue Jays. We keep hearing their name. Doesn't seem like that would be Juan Soto's most likely destination, but they seem committed to wanting to add another star alongside Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and trying to make a splash in a division where it's very difficult to, poke your head above water with the Yankees and the Red Sox already in that division. The Rays always doing Rays things, and the Blue Jays are just in that no man's land. The Baltimore Orioles now with all their talent, the Blue Jays are kind of looking kind of desperately going, we can't break through. What are we going to do other than maybe make a giant splash in free agency?
Yeah, and I had seen recently, what's the show you go on with A.J. Pierzynski?
Foul Territory. A.J. Pierzynski
said that Juan Soto would play on the moon if they were offering him the most money. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily the case either, because I do think, again, I hate to pick on the Rockies so much, but I do think if the Rockies came calling for Juan Soto, I don't think he would go there. I do think he wants to be a part of a winner. It is also rumored that the Nationals have checked back in on Juan Soto. So, imagine we trade them. Gore.
They have a new owner, right?
Yeah.
Ownership,
Yeah. So that would be, I would actually give them a fighting, fighter's chance there, puncher's chance.
These were actually, was it the same owner now that let Juan go?
I
thought
no.
that was like their
No, I
first
think
order of business, and they
like-
knew it was going to suck.
I think it was the Lerners?
I think it was the previous ownership.
I think it was too. But I do think the Red Sox too. The Red Sox have checked in on him. They have not done much. You get him with Rafael Devers, and you stick it to the Yankees, all of it, man.
There was talk about the Giants, although that seems to have
that's fizzled. I saw
faded a little bit.
I saw that they don't even have a meeting set with Juan Soto. I follow a couple Giants fans that are pretty knowledgeable baseball dudes, and they are, let's just say so far, the Buster Posey era is not their favorite so far. Based on the rumors that are coming out of there of the people that they're going after right now, and not being in the mix for a Juan Soto.
If you want to join us for Real or Fake here in a couple of minutes, our phone lines are open. You can call now, 833-288-0973. Chance to qualify for our monthly drawing trip to Las Vegas, 833-288-0973. Be patient. We'll get to you in just a couple of minutes. A couple of other notes from Jeff Passan. He talked about Jurickson Profar and Ha-Seong Kim, and the fact that their markets look pretty good, actually, which maybe is bad news for the San Diego Padres or fans who were hoping that one or both of those guys might return to San Diego. Profar in particular, I've kind of made peace that Ha-Seong Kim is probably moving on, that he'll find a fit somewhere that's willing to pay him more money and giving him a longer-term contract than the Padres would probably be smart to offer at this point. But the Padres need a left fielder. Jurickson is someone that I would be very sad to lose, but I'm also hesitant to, quote-unquote, overpay for Jurickson Profar. It's got to be the right deal, but there's no one that would in that organization that wouldn't love to have Jurickson back. Just the question is, what's his market going to be like? And if Jeff Passan is correct, and he checks the boxes for a lot of teams that are looking for someone like him. Well, that's going to drive the price tag up and could ultimately drive the Padres out of the Jurickson Profar market, which would be sad.
It would be.
I mean, that would be a big question mark without his leadership, his clubhouse presence, and his on-base percentage and what he did last year. Padres aren't the Padres.
Correct.
Without Jurickson Profar. We saw 2023 and how it went. I'm not predicting a repeat of that without Jurickson Profar, but I'll certainly be wary of it. Like, okay, can you keep this going without that fire that Jurickson has, that chippiness? I mean, how important was that in your mind
huge.
to the 2024 Padres?
So huge. Carried this team for multiple stretches last year.
Does Jackson Merrill replace that?
Maybe.
Does he have enough of that to carry it?
But he's got his own version of it.
Yeah, he's got his own version, but it's not a replacement thing. It's a compliment. Jackson Merrill complimented Profar, and he's not going to play two positions. He's not going to just stick him out there in left center. We actually have to find a left fielder that can play as well as Jurickson did. I saw, I don't know, this guy, I don't put much stock in it, that MLB executive burner or whatever it is, but he did some projections. He had Jurickson Profar at 6 years, $82 million. And I just said, I just don't think that's in the cards for the San Diego Padres. I don't. But I do know it feels like the Padres aren't really the Padres without Jurickson, and it feels like Jurickson isn't Jurickson without the Padres. So it would seem, to behoove both parties to make something work. But 6 and 82, I don't know.
It's such a weird situation where they both kind of have some leverage on the other.
Correct.
Yet that doesn't always work out. That the place that the guy is supposed to end up is where he ends up.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We've seen it go the other way so many times in Major League Baseball. And we saw it a couple of years ago. I mean, Jurickson ended up in Colorado. That was never a great move, I don't think, for Jurickson. But, he was trying to pursue a better contract, didn't really get it, ended up with the Rockies. No one was happy. The Padres were worse off. Jurickson was worse off for that move. And then they had the reunion, and everyone was better off. Now we're back in that same situation that we were 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, look, and we kind of highlighted pitching yesterday. There's still going to be there's a lot of arms available through free agency, and then there's arms, guys like Jordan Montgomery, who I just can't. They're just not going to be able to work that out there. He did pick up his own player option for $22.5 million, and the report is that they want to get rid of him and are willing to eat, quote, some of his $22.5 million. And
some is carrying a lot of water in that sentence.
If I'm another team, I'm like, we'll take him, but you're eating like
18.
You're eating like the majority of this, and we'll give you
80%.
We'll give you our fourth best catcher in Single A, and we'll go from there. And just to get out from under, that's bad vibes all around. You cannot have him. Is there a path back for him there?
Is there a Chris Sale potential there, like a bounce-back season?
I don't think there's a Sale potential, but I think there's a potential to be a really way better than serviceable starter for this team and really any other, given the chance to have a full spring training, given the chance that, he's won a World Series. He really helped win them that World Series. He is a different animal in the postseason as well. So, yeah, man, I'm on the phone with those guys, certainly. I mean, it ain't Blake Snell. It's not Garrett Crochet, but it isn't terrible. It isn't terrible.
I looked at the entire list of Jeff Passan free agents, and I tried to come up with one position player and one pitcher that I thought could be an under-the-radar target for the San Diego Padres, someone that we're not really talking about, and we can get to those a little bit later this hour, perhaps, maybe at 7:35. We're also going to do our Throwback Thursday there. Right now, though, we got plenty of callers on the line. Everybody would like to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas, so let's get to it. It is time for our Thursday edition of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, you are playing to try to qualify for our grand prize drawing of a two-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas, 2 tickets to the Soul of Motown, and a $150 food and beverage credit. Be sure to check out the Westgate's $70 million in room renovations, home of legendary Vegas fun, and get your tickets for the Soul of Motown tribute at WestgateResorts.com. Who we got? John You are up today as our contestant on Real or Fake. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, pretty good. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, buddy.
All right, I think this is a fairly easy category.
I think this is the easiest one you've ever
Might
come
be.
up with.
Woods should be able to help you as well. Let's go for the 4-for-4 sweep. So earlier this week, you might remember we were talking about James Bond. Certain movie title.
Yeah.
We even made an entire song about it.
Yeah,
that
the
I tried to sing.
Octopussy song.
Right.
Yep.
So that's the inspiration for Real or Fake. I will give you a title. You tell me if it's a real James Bond movie or a fake. I've thrown in to fool you.
Okay.
Easy enough, John?
Should be.
Oh, sounds like it, but the pressure's on.
Yeah, that's
pressure
true.
is on,
All right,
man.
all you
Bright
need is
lights.
4 out of 7. Here we go. Round number 1. Tomorrow never dies. Real or fake?
That's real.
Yes,
That
it
is real. All right, let's try die twice, live forever.
That one's fake.
Fake.
Fake, very good. This is easy. No time to die.
Never heard of that one. What do you think? Was that?
I think it's
that
fake,
one's
man.
fake,
I think it's fake, yeah.
Yeah, that one's fake.
Fake?
Come on. No Time to Die.
That's the newest one, I
Oh,
believe.
is it? Daniel Craig? Is he still?
No, I think that's the... is it Daniel? Maybe it's Daniel Craig.
I've never seen one of his.
All right, that's all right. You still have plenty
Yeah, we're
of
good.
wiggle room here. All right, round number 4. You only live twice.
That one's real.
That's real.
That is real.
Yeah.
It is still Daniel Craig, I believe.
All right, let's go with Die Another Day.
I don't know, Woodsy. What do you think? That one.
It sounds
I think
familiar.
I remember that.
I
But
think I do too.
yeah.
Is that T-Doll?
No,
let's
let's
go real.
Yeah, let's go real.
Real.
Yes,
Yes,
it is,
sir.
and that is 4, which means you have qualified, John.
I think that's the one, that was like with Halle Berry, I think.
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Die in the Shadows.
Fake.
Fake. Death's
That one's
Edge.
fake.
Death's Edge? Fake. That's a Steven Seagal movie, probably.
Nice work, John. You have qualified. Stay on the line. Paulie will get your information, put you into our drawing at the end of the month. Yeah, that was a fairly easy one.
Very easy.
I actually tried to use AI for the first time to come up with
did you?
some of the fake ones. I just typed in the chat GPT, come up with fake but believable sounding James Bond movie
A
titles.
lot of death in there.
There's
Tomorrow
a lot of
never
death.
dies. Die
Die
tomorrow.
twice,
Die
live
twice.
forever.
Live forever. It's really good.
I think I do a better job than chat GPT.
I think you do too.
I think you would have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to see what it would come up with.
I like
threw
it.
in
Yeah,
there.
let's work smarter, not harder.
Well,
buddy.
so all right. Don't Do This is coming up next. Chiefs have a real problem, perhaps, with their fan base. A criminal problem with their fan base.
Bunch of degenerates, man.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And we've got some audio out of New York. And I can't even imagine the panic that this producer felt when that phone rang.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
good.
my God.
That's good. We'll get to that coming up after a check of traffic with Kelly. It's Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Woods, get us started today. Don't do this on a Thursday.
I will. It's out of the world of MLS. Benjamin Taylor Twellman has.
It's our world now.
Yeah, it's our world now. He's on hiatus from his role as the top analyst for Apple TV Plus, following an alleged altercation with a production assistant during a game in Miami. Now, the audio was very spotty. Frequent audio hiccups, an issue for Apple. Now, he lost his mind. I mean, I can't imagine being upset at something as, mundane as your audio not working. I can't even wrap my head around it. Just go with the flow, right? Just keep pushing through. Go with the flow, Taylor.
It's very zen of you.
It's very, yeah. I mean, that's what I would do.
Woods has never been known to lose his.
Are you kidding me?
Small details.
So, apparently, he got handsy with an audio engineer in the booth. Now, that's Paul. You can attest this. I've never come across the board and attacked you or our engineers for our spotty audio.
Paulie, why did you play that drop? Stephen Woods has never attacked me.
Never. So
he's very handsome and awesome.
Thank you.
He has never attacked me.
Never attacked you physically, certainly. But yeah, 4 people were in the booth at the time of the alleged incident, and the production assistant has filed a grievance against him, so they will investigate and he will be on hiatus. Just relax, Taylor. Just chill, man. It's cool.
Taylor's he's very opinionated.
Yep.
He's had some epic rants in the past. He's unafraid to criticize like U.S. soccer and go against the establishment,
Right.
Which makes him appealing as a commentator.
Sure.
But seems like he comes with some baggage. As
Yeah,
well.
a little bit.
We'll be more in that world as of 2025 next year when San Diego joins the MLS club with San Diego FC. All right, I will move on to the NFL. And another story. Now, remember the Chiefsaholic who was tried, convicted, and sentenced for robbing banks, I think 17 years. He's the guy who was, dressed up in the gear every week.
And just went on a bank robbery
spree. Now, this story can't be him because he's in jail right now. He's got a good alibi. But apparently, word just came out this week that the Kansas City area homes of both Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and tight end Travis Kelce were both burglarized within a day of each other. Kelsey's home was, Mahomes' home was burglarized on midnight of August 6th, and then Kelsey's the next day on August 7th. Police say that Kelsey's home, the losses totaled $21,000, including $20,000 in cash that the burglars made off with. Now, here's what's interesting. So the break-ins happened the day of and the day before a home victory over the New Orleans Saints on October 7th. I was assuming, they knew they were on the road. Like, they knew where they lived.
Yeah.
They knew they were on the road, but they were actually at home. Now, Kelsey and Mahomes were pretty quiet, they said, and the investigation's ongoing, so we're not really supposed to say anything. They wouldn't even confirm if they were home or not at the time. Now, I know some NFL teams, even on home games, will stay at hotels
that's
the
true.
night before the game. Is it possible that the burglars, this is some sort of inside job, or is it just the Chiefs fans know the procedures of the team and knew that they would be gone before the game? I mean, it doesn't mean their families are gone, though. So this is very interesting that both of these guys would have their homes hit within 24 hours of each other.
Somebody breaks into your homes. How much cash are they walking out with?
My home? If I'm not there and my wallet's in my pocket, zero.
Correct.
I mean, well, there's change, like the big glass jar,
A jar of change
that they can make off with. And if they want to make off with it, be my guest.
Yeah, it's more of a pain for you. You're going to have to go to Coinstar
Convert it to you go to the grocery store and pour it into the thing. Or they're taking like 20% of that anyway.
Shimmying that little tray back and forth.
Getting
get
that
all the
last
quarters
dime in there.
And then you hear them. Some of them don't go through, and they fall to the bottom. Yeah, it was a big bit in college, man. Save that change for one big Coinstar run so you could go out that night. Yeah, not getting anything. I mean, my kids' piggy banks, they have more cash in it than I do, but we're talking $200, $300 max. It's not, you don't want to hit a radio.
Not anymore.
You don't want to hit a radio host's home, all right? I'll tell you that right now.
How much do you think a multi-million-dollar athlete has
Like,
in their home?
one of them had $20K.
Yeah, Travis Kelce had $20,000 in cash.
Cash. Jeez. That's a lot of cash to just be floating around. In my opinion.
Not even in a safe. No, maybe they cracked a safe. They didn't say in the story, but I'm
in
assuming
his underwear drawer.
just found it somewhere. I mean, how do they know where it was, or does it just sit on the kitchen table? Like,
it's in a drawer.
Here's our pile of cash that we just leave out.
I had a friend named Brian that he hated ones and fives. He wouldn't carry ones or fives. So he would take every 1 and 5 that he had and throw it in this drawer in his home. And you'd be in his kitchen, like, I don't know, grabbing a beer or something. You open the drawer.
Where are the forks? Oh, no.
Thousands of dollars in ones and fives. And I'm like, what are you going to do with this? He's like, I don't know. I just hate carrying them. I'm like, get it out of here. Get it out of here. Like, I mean, we could put it together and go out and have a pretty fun night at Explicit or something, but he's like, I can't stand him. He didn't like small bills. I guess a 10 was fine. A 10 was fine, but a 5 was not. So just ones and 5, just filled to the brim.
That's a really odd.
And not like the thin drawer, like the deep drawer.
The deep drawer you put pots and pans.
Pots and pans filled with cash. This is a robber's
Was it like
fantasy.
Was it all like loose, or was it at least stacked and organized?
Loose.
It was just loose.
Out of the wallet, into the drawer,
just
drawer
tossed
shut.
in.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it and go, God dang. In reality, it's probably like $175, but it was filled with cash. So a lot of people like to keep cash at home. I'm not one of those people. I don't have an extra 20 to go take out just to keep around the crib.
Satan's Blowfish wants to know what kind of legitimate rich guy emergency requires $20,000 cash immediately. Like, hey, I can't wait until the bank's open tomorrow.
Yeah, I better have 20K
I better
on
have
hand.
20 on hand just in case.
Weed.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Can you even buy that in Kansas City?
I don't know.
Do they test for it in the NFL anymore? I don't think so.
Are we even allowed to use cash anymore? Anywhere that you go? Everywhere I go is cashless, it seems. But, yeah, 20K, it's a lot of cash to be floating around, for sure.
I have certain...
Does it make you feel good to have it? Like, are you kind of a baller if you have that much cash in a safe or something?
I mean, if you got it, and you know Taylor Swift's coming over, I guess it's a cool look to have 20K just sitting
Bro,
there.
she's got... That's nothing to her.
She's got that in her
Have
purse.
you ever had enough cash that they had to wrap it in one of those
like a
paper bands, and they had a stack? I've never had a stack of cash that was wrapped in a paper band.
What's the most money you've ever held in your hand?
That's a good question.
I think for me it was around like $1,700. I was a big winner in Vegas when I was like 21.
Good. Yeah, I mean maybe a couple grand, nothing major.
Yeah,
nothing. Never held like 75K.
I had a lot at our golf tournament.
Yeah, you did
this year because of our Ben's Glory Hole where we were raising money. And I just had a ton of cash.
There it was. Glory hole.
It's one of our best ideas.
Yeah.
There's the picture right over somewhere in here. Did all that get accounted for?
Yeah, donated to the guy we're having on the air in 1 hour, John Ashworth, and Goat Hill Park and the Caddy and Leadership Academy and North County Junior Golf.
So this is a good do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
So in New York City, you're on WFAN, and you're talking on a random Tuesday night. And one of your producers, you're talking about Seinfeld, and I think they're talking about his love for the Mets, and they're just mentioning Jerry Seinfeld. And
Chris McMonagle.
Chris McMonagle
is the host.
He's
on
the
WFAN
host.
New York.
And his producer, Paul Rosenberg, he also has a Paul as his producer.
Paul R.
I wonder if they asked him to work mornings that day instead. So Rosenberg inexplicably says, one of the few good Seinfeld episodes.
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld is listening at the time. It's every radio host's nightmare. Or I guess in this case, kind of cool. So Jerry calls in. This is what happened.
888-808-1019. All right, so I'm told that the great Jerry Seinfeld was actually listening and has called in. And I'm hoping I can, defend his honor here like he needs it against Paul, who's saying a couple of good Seinfeld episodes. So Jerry, if this is actually Jerry Seinfeld, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Let me just tell you first.
You're so welcome.
There are two people in this studio, and I'm one of them who is a fan of you, amazingly enough. So thank you so much for calling.
You're so welcome. I love the show. I'm not arrogant enough to think that everybody should like what I do. That doesn't. I just wanted you to know it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it.
Wow.
That 1 out of 2 is fine for me.
That's it? You're good with that? Yeah, well, listen, I know you listen to Steve for years, and you listen to this radio station. You're a big fan. Every once in a while, there's a producer on the other side who wants to spark that argument. He wants to get involved. I could see it in his face as I was looking at him. He's face to the microphone. He's ready to turn it on. He wants to say something. I referenced Seinfeld, and he's going to give me that little bit of, well, there's only a few good Seinfeld episodes. So then suddenly we're in a discussion.
We made 180 episodes.
Yes.
So we made 3 good ones. We're like the Giants,
The Giants.
That's true.
Dude, that's so badass.
I can't even imagine.
It's not even in the same ballpark. I mean, he is to me. But the day that we were talking on the air about the Padres and Skip Schumacher texted me as he was listening about something we said, and it just sent me into a panic. But that's Skip Schumacher. That's not Jerry Seinfeld.
Like, I was trying to think about this when I saw the story. Like, there's no comparison to like that.
Right.
Like Jerry Seinfeld calling in.
Jerry Seinfeld.
That's incredible. One of the first times I ever got to be a part of a radio show, a talk show, back at the old station, this was like 8 or 9 years ago, we had a Saturday college football show. Me and Craig Elston, actually, and a couple other guys, and on Saturdays for a couple hours, usually leading up to the Aztec game. And we were talking about the Aztecs, and this is what they need to do against Wyoming, and this is why it didn't work last week. And Aztecs legend, NFL player, Raiders analyst Kirk Morrison was just driving around L.A. listening to our show on a Saturday afternoon and called in. He's like, yeah, I was listening to you guys, and I'm like, this is the coolest moment ever.
It's a cool thing.
Kirk Morrison's great, but he's not Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld. You ever have somebody call and yell at you? Or
yell at me like famous? No.
No. Nothing like that.
We've had people yell at me all the time.
Yeah.
Well, let's test it out. If you're massively famous and listening to this program right now, give us a call. 833-288-0973.
Yeah.
But
you're
only if
not
you're
that good.
Only if you're massively famous.
Yeah,
we don't want B-list celebrities.
Whoever you are, you're not that great, right?
You had a couple of good moments, and that was it.
That is such a baller. That's so baller.
I bet their program director asked them to make that into a promo. For sure. I
guarantee you.
I love listening to you guys.
By the way, we got a text from Adam Kluge and said, I assume I'll be allowed to defend my honor at 8. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Come on in and explain to me why you were going to take my producer away from me on a Friday.
I'll be interested to hear what he has to say.
As will I.
Yeah. Our phones are ringing off the hook. Tom Cruise on line 1, Harrison Ford on line 2. This is incredible.
Ford.
Jelly Roll's actually calling in.
I'm not okay.
You know what? We don't take calls on this show. Just never mind.
Jelly Roll.
Sydney Sweeney sucks. She's only got a couple of good movies.
She's got a couple. Never mind. Look, I'm not going to be a creep. Just because my wife's out of town doesn't mean I have carte blanche to just be a pervert.
Are you sure
creep.
she's all the way out of town?
I don't know. She could be listening with her mom right now. But
well, you're famous enough to call in, Hannah, if you'd like.
That's true. And
that is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I'd actually think that maybe after this playback of our Throwback Thursday clip, can we just retire this one? No. I don't want to hear it anymore.
No.
I am ready to be done with this Throwback Thursday clip.
You gotta relive the past sometimes so that you don't repeat it.
It's just so awkward. So awkward.
This is a horrible, horrible moment for you.
5 years ago.
Oh God, my heart. Already.
Was it today? Yesterday? Oh, awkwardness. When we come back with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
My stomach hurt every single year we play it.
Yeah, it's got to be the third or fourth year we've brought this back.
I mean,
Throwback
isn't
Thursday.
that wild, though? Because I feel like we just heard it yesterday. That's how fast this year has gone, fellas.
I can't think of any scenario in which we wouldn't have only played it in November.
There's no... I don't... Yeah.
We don't use drops from this clip.
No.
Like, we don't really ever reference it. So it was a year ago, right around this time that we played it.
Oh, my God, man. 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
Back when we
Paulie
talked a ton
says
of
November
NFL.
12th, 2019. Yeah. This was at the old station. No, this was here.
It was here.
Oh, this was here, yeah. This
Sitting
was
in this
here.
chair, sweating, just mortified.
It's a guest that we had brought over from our original show.
Correct.
Had been one of our first, regular
Yeah,
football
we used to talk
contributors.
to him all the time.
Yeah, we did. Now we don't.
Now we don't.
I wonder how he's doing.
I do. I wonder how he's doing.
See if he's still on Twitter.
So, yeah, we used to talk, no, not necessarily weekly, but regularly with ESPN Sal Paolantonio. Usually covering the Eagles, Philadelphia-related football, but, could talk about anything else as well.
So for those of you in the know about what this is, your stomach is now bubbling and gurgling like mine.
Not as much as mine.
It's true.
Just, if you've ever heard an interview become very awkward very quickly.
Contentious.
And I still don't exactly know why. What happened? But we'll let the audio play for itself. Shall we just play it here, Paulie?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
We have it in two different clips.
Okay.
It was an interview. It was a 15-minute clip or whatever. But it just got weird. We had him on to talk some football. He also had just signed a new deal with ESPN.
Correct.
We're like, hey, let's get Sal Pal
Let's say
back
congratulations. He's got a book coming out. Let's do all of this.
So this is just like mid-answer. He's talking some NFL. And
I mean, those are the three quarterbacks I want
Well, of course.
That Super Bowl interception obviously was huge.
Of course.
The one last night didn't end up costing him.
Oh my God!
There's one other quarterback that I want, and that's Nicky Five Fingers Foles. You know that.
Of course you do. Let's talk about the NFC East a little bit. Let's talk about the NFC East a little bit.
Touchdown, baby. He's back this week, week 11. Come on, let's talk about Nicky touchdown back. Come on now.
You ever dream you could go back in time?
Yeah,
like
all the time.
Marty McFly style, Back to the Future 2. Tell yourself who won the World Series. You can bet on it. I want to go back in time and just tell myself, stop talking.
Shut up.
Stop talking during the Sal Pal interview.
Wrecking Ball, man. That was I think we came up with Wrecking Ball. We haven't played that drop in a while, but I think that's where we came up with the Ben, you are a...
I came in like a wrecking ball.
I didn't know where he was going. I didn't know if he was done or still talking, and I just kept trying to interject.
Well, of course.
That Super Bowl interception obviously was huge.
Of course.
The one last night didn't end up costing it.
And then the ha ha ha.
Foles, you know that.
Of course you do. Let's talk about the NFC East a little bit.
I got the mocking laugh.
Like he thought you guys were making fun of him or something.
There's like the lag between our laugh and then all of a sudden he decides to laugh.
He's
like
going to
6
throw it.
seconds in.
Yeah, he's
There's
pissed.
one other quarterback that I want, and that's Nicky Five Fingers Foles. You know that.
Of course you do.
Pause.
Let's talk about the NFC East a little bit.
I'm dead. I'm so uncomfortable.
Elisa says I have no idea what's happening. Neither did we. I have no idea what happened here.
So part 2 of the clip, fast forward to the end. I think Ben had continued to interrupt. Like the cadence was off. It didn't get any better for Ben.
I was rattled and I was not.
you're
Yeah, I was
flustered.
just flustered.
Where do you go?
I don't know where to go. Sal, congratulations on the new
On the
deal.
new deal.
Again,
Hey, thanks for having me on your show.
Happy
This was a lot of
Veterans
fun.
Day.
Passive aggressive.
This is amazing.
This is
You guys are a lot of fun.
we'll have
I
to do it
really
again
enjoyed
soon when
talking
I'm
football.
Still
I'm a
doing it.
competent host. I can't. Thanks, Sal. Bye.
You're the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Click.
What? You heard that? There, you can hear the phone hang up.
Host. I can't. Thanks, Sal. Bye.
You're the best.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sal. What was that?
Oh my God!
Is he mad? He's not
I don't
mad,
think
is
he's
he?
mad. No, he was a
I
star.
think he just hung up on us.
He's a huge star. Yeah, he hung up before I could even put him on back on hold.
I guess my thing with you, Ben, is you recognize what had happened. You acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But you still
You
did it.
continue the behavior
Yeah.
is what you do.
Yeah.
Okay? Like my kids. You know that I'm going to be mad. You continue to do it. But you now recognize what you did was wrong, but you don't stop doing it.
Correct. I don't want to be gun shy about talking on my own show, though. So it's like, what do I do?
Listen, become an active listener. Don't be thinking about what you want to say next. Bring it in. Look at you right now. See, look at him. Look at him. He can't look at it. So the smoke starts coming out of his ears. He's like, no.
We should do like a truckers on CB radio. When you're done with a sentence, say over. So I know you're done talking.
All right, we'll try that with John Ashworth at 8:35. All right, John, after you're finished with your sentence, just say over. Satan's Millfish says, you let the guests answer your questions.
Over.
We need to go to would Toastmasters help you? What helps you become a better active listener?
No, I think Toastmasters helps you become a better speaker.
Well, you're a good speaker.
I'm a good speaker.
Too good, in fact, some might say. How do we learn? How do we beat that into him? Tyler says therapy. I agree. Where do you go?
I don't know where to go. Sal, congratulations on the new deal.
Hey, thanks for having me on your show.
Happy Veterans Day.
He's talking.
He's talking.
Just
Thanks for having me on your show.
You can wait until he's done
You're a lot
talking
of
to say
fun.
Happy Veterans Day.
Some might say he was interrupting me.
Nobody would say that.
You would say that.
You would say that. Manny says improv class. Would you do an improv class with me?
Ooh.
Could make you better.
There could be some value to that.
I think we'd have fun there. I think we could all use it.
We should record it
Yeah.
and play it on the show.
Play it tomorrow afternoon.
You'd have to be. I think you have to be massively fearless to do improv. I really do. I think that's. We do a lot of improv in here, but when they get in there, they're like, all right, Ben, you need to act like a tree or something. You need to act like a dirty policeman. How could you do it?
So I was going through our our files, that was actually not the last time that we heard from Sal Pal. We haven't had him on the show, I don't think, since that moment. That was November 2019. But in March of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, this show had its 2-year anniversary, March 2020. And I do remember now I collected some voicemails from favorite guests,
That's right.
people that were involved with the show, and I thought, it can't hurt to shoot Sal Paolantonio. Now, this was just a couple of months later. Like, we were still very much nervous. Yeah. We were scared that he hated us, and I'm going to shoot him the text. And he replied and sent us a voicemail.
Hey, guys, it's Sal Pal, your special Philly correspondent, wishing the Ben and Wood Show a happy 2nd anniversary. Hope everybody stays safe out there in San Diego. Great show. Miss you guys. Can't wait for football.
Liar.
So I think he hopefully just forgot.
He got his shows mixed
incident.
up. Yeah, he got his shows mixed up.
Yeah.
Guests do that all the time.
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
national guests. Oh, what was that? Was that show or the other show? Can't even remember it.
But I remember not telling you at all that I had done that and just playing it on the air. And you're like, oh my God.
Do you think you're a megalomaniac?
No, I don't think that's my problem.
That is a person who is obsessed with their own power.
I am. I'm someone who is just very awkward.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how to handle myself in awkward moments. You take advantage of that a lot.
I do. As I should. He is from Philly. We are going to Philly next year.
Oh my God.
There is a 100% chance we reach out.
We need to buy him a beer.
We need to get him. I want him to recommend the best cheesesteak. I want to get a picture with Sal Pal. And I wonder if he remembers. He probably doesn't. But that was that moment. Paulie told me yesterday that it was coming today, and I was sick to my stomach. And I was like, can you go dig through the archives and maybe find something else so that we don't have to play it?
We need to check traffic.
It was also the anniversary of this drop.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
That was 2020 because I think the Masters got postponed.
Oh, that's right. It was late year Masters. I was going to say, that was a Masters drop. How could it have been November? But that's the year of COVID, so they had the late Masters.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Masters.
Just one of the most legendary drops.
All right, we're going to check traffic. We got a couple minutes left this hour. I've got my 2 under-the-radar Padres free agents for you.
Okay.
And you may think insane,
all right,
but I think that was part of the challenge here. Find someone that no one's talking about that I think A.J. Preller could land on this offseason. Do that after Kelly's Traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, guys, we're getting reports of a possible brush fire starting up northbound 5 before SeaWorld Drive. Some smoke visible from the right shoulder. And Cordell traffic cam shows a collision on the South 5 coastline past Tamarack. That is blocking the HOV lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So let me be clear. No inside knowledge here. I have not heard a single rumor, anything connecting either of these players to the San Diego Padres. I was simply going through the list of free agents and speculating that AJ's going to find someone we're not talking about because he always does. And there's a lot of players out there. So I picked one pitcher and one position player. Pitching wise, I don't know if this guy has anything left in the tank, but
good.
We know that AJ has
sounds like a Padre.
All right.
We know that AJ has tried this before. Did it last year with Martin Perez, and it worked out beautifully at the trade deadline. Has connections, obviously, with the Cardinals, Mike Schilt and the organization. Don't even know how Schilty feels about this guy, but had a decent season last year. Definitely getting on in age. I think he's 38. Lance Lynn, who is a free agent again, went 7-4 with a 3.84 ERA. Probably very affordable. You can get him on a 1-year deal as a depth starting option for next season for a team that right now does need starting pitching. I have not heard anybody talking about Lance Lynn and the San Diego Padres.
I heard people talking about Lance Lynn and the San Diego Padres. How long have we been a show?
6.5 years.
I got a text from someone in the organization, connected to the organization, 6.5 years ago during the trade deadline that Lance Lynn was coming to San Diego.
Huh.
It was like almost a done deal. Now, he was 32 2 at the time then, and I think in finer form. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't blow my hair back at all.
I'm not trying to blow your hair back. I'm
true.
trying to come up with a reasonable. And again, it's not someone to get excited about, but
right.
They're going to sign a couple of people you're not excited about this offseason.
Yeah.
They always do. And, when Tyler Wade was signed last offseason, no one was excited about that.
Are people excited about it now?
They're not, but he contributed to the team. He was on the team, and I could see a situation where Lance Lynn maybe only makes 10 starts for your San Diego Padres, but you need guys to make those starts, and a veteran arm is not the worst option to have, in your rotation if you need him.
Dude, decent, cheap veteran option.
Exactly.
Yeah, decent and cheap. I remember when he was a Dodger. Remember how many home runs he gave up? Like, it was like a record. I think he might have figured a little something out in St. Louis. I just don't know what he's got left. Now, let me tell you this. For media purposes, I'm all in. The guy is a phenomenal character and interview. But is he going to help you win a World Series? Probably not in October, but he can help you. He might be able to help you in April, May, and June.
Now, on the position player side, no one talking about this guy, but it would end up being one of a really very typical A.J. Preller signing. It would also be one of the most confusing signings of all time. I think the Padres might look into Ha-Seong Kim. And I don't mean the one...
Ha-Seong Kim.
Ha-Seong Kim.
Ha-Seong Kim?
No, not Ha-Seong Kim, who we know.
I don't know much about Ha-Seong.
This is the new... He was a teammate of Ha-Seong Kim. He's also a middle infielder, hits for average, has speed, and is coming over from the KBO this offseason and is generating some interest as a guy who could be a good defensive player up the middle. If you need, you don't have a shortstop for sure yet. He can play shortstop. He can play second. Stole 30 bases. Has hit over 300 regularly in the KBO. Has a little bit of pop. He's essentially Ha-Seong Kim of 4 years ago, maybe a little less power, coming over. And AJ's always in on these guys coming over from the KBO, yet no one is connecting the Padres really with Ha-Seong Kim.
This is like when Rachel replaced Ross with Russ. That's what it is. It's the version of Russ. Like, no. This is Ha-Seong Kim.
Casual Padres fans would be so confused.
They would be like, "Oh, Kimmy's back.
He's back. Ha-Seong Kim." No, that's not.
No, that's not him.
It's not him. That's a different guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's also playing the middle infield, and he's from Korea, and he has almost the same name, but he's a different person.
Interesting.
My under-the-radar potentials for the Padres. All right, Adam's ready to defend himself.
I like that you did mushrooms on a Wednesday night.
Next on The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. Ronnie Ellison in the chat just said, wow, Lance Lynn in a City Connect. And I went, well, whatever it costs, we have to bring Lance Lynn. I need to see that ASAP. Thank you, Ronnie, for the very, very hearty laugh you got in here from all of us. It's Ben and Woods. We are on 97.3 The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindle, the executive producer of the program. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor and joins us as well.
I think everybody's very unenthused by my under-the-radar potential Padres signings. That was the idea, though. Under the radar. Like,
that's
way
true.
under the radar here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if the goal was to mention two players that nobody had thought about, you did it.
I did.
You absolutely crushed that segment. If that was the goal.
That was the goal. I mean, anyone can say, Blake Snell. Hey, Padres should go after Blake Snell.
But you don't get
Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns. You don't get that insight anywhere else, the kind that you get here on Ben and Woods, certainly. How about Rich Hill? I did see he wants to pitch next year, which is insane.
I'm not going down that road.
I'm with you 100%. Well, we've got our boss, Adam Klug, in studio this morning, and he had probably heard our 6 o'clock segment opening the program. If you missed it, I had a rough one yesterday. I was talking to Paulie, and Paulie said, I just got off the phone with Adam, who asked me if I wanted to do the afternoon shift on Friday, 2 to 6. And I told Adam, that's kind of a long day for me, man, producing the morning show and then coming in to do a solo hosting job. And Adam said, well, I was just going to potentially move you out of mornings and let you host, and I'd put Italian Paul in, and that's when I hit the roof. And I went through the roof. And thought about it all night, beat myself up about it because I thought maybe I'm crushing Paulie's dreams. If he wants to be a host, let's help him be a host. Or now Paulie feels bad because he's not helping out the team. I feel bad because the team's not being helped out. I consider myself a team player. That being said, the man in charge over here, he's piercing me right now with his eyes. All right, what would you like to say?
Emperor Woods, thanks for having me in studio.
Emperor?
What's it like to hold other people down?
I'm not trying to. I never have.
You're just unintentional.
It's unintentional.
Man, look at me. Offering an opportunity for someone to grow and spread their wings and maybe, tickle an itch, and I'm painted as a tyrant?
So, Paulie knows.
I bet people would hate to work with someone like me.
Paulie knows if that's an itch he needs to scratch, then he can do that. I've never said he couldn't. In fact, I've encouraged it. I encouraged the dreams of Ben.
I just don't know how I got painted as a tyrant.
How
here.
did I get painted as the tyrant, though, by Ben?
You're the psychopath who reacted the way you reacted.
All right, so give me...
Both ways. By the way, your initial reaction and then the way you lay up all night with guilt or whatever.
All right. On what planet does it make sense to take the producer of your highly rated morning show and move him for a day? On what planet?
So here's the real story.
Uranus is the only planet I can think of.
So here's the real story. Obviously, we don't have the largest staff here, the deepest of benches. Yes. And normally when someone's out, if our producers are interested, they'll fill in.
Sure.
The entire show, Tony, Chris, and Matt are taking off tomorrow. They're going to play in a San Diego State alumni golf tournament together, and it's a show outing, and I gave them that permission.
Sure.
They asked, and I said, you know what?
Team building.
Team building. I said, it's a Friday afternoon, obviously. I said, cool, go for it. So normally Scraby might fill in, and maybe Sammy would come in.
Sure.
And I spoke with Sammy, but Sammy's on the East Coast in New York. He did his show remotely last night from the East Coast, but hosting 4 hours solo remotely wasn't something he really wanted to do. A lot of times Braden fills in, and he's really talented. I think very highly of Braden, and he's hosted solo quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And Braden also is a high school football coach and has a playoff game tomorrow night.
Still waiting for how this affects my show. This is all fantastic information. On what planet does it make sense to ruin my show?
So, Paulie, one of the great people I've ever worked with in my career,
very valuable to me as well.
One of the things he does for us is he manages our on-air schedule on our website.
Yes,
and I was on the verge of just saying, we don't have anybody to fill in. We're going to go to CBS. But rather than just assuming Paul wasn't interested, because I know he's had interest in the past. I said, before I just make the declaration that we're going to go to CBS tomorrow afternoon, I said, let me just offer it to Paul and see if he's interested.
Sure.
And when I spoke with him, I said, no pressure, no obligation.
So this is
just
something
if
he does.
If you're interested,
he does this.
I wanted to offer you the opportunity.
He does this to me all the time.
And I get painted like the bad guy.
He says to me, hey, you can totally say no, but... and when your boss comes to you and says you can totally say no, that means I really need you to say yes. No. Yes.
This wasn't one of those times. Other times might be. This is not one
of them.
All
right, so what's the resolution?
Well, I had an idea, and it isn't going to work out.
I heard about that idea as well. Yeah. I did not share that idea with the rest of the class.
Yeah, I mean, you hate me anyways.
I don't hate you. I love you.
Go ahead and share it if you'd like.
But you got all right. So we talk about play this out, right? Fast forward the tape. Yeah. Paulie then calls me. Play it forward. If you tell Paulie, hey, you're gonna host, and Paulie expresses interests and says, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Then he calls me and says, hey, I'm actually not going to be there Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to host.
You guys have been out without Paul before?
We have.
Yeah. You'll survive.
But not a day where he's going to be working elsewhere on the radio station. Paulie wants to take a vacation. We'll survive.
Yeah.
But why would you move him from here?
I didn't say I would. I put the decision on him. I let him make the choice. Well, if he wanted to.
Hey, you chose wisely, because that's what you did, young
so my
man.
choices were to either piss off the two guys that I work with every day, or work an 8-hour split shift on a Friday.
Or die doing a 4-hour solo show by
not
yourself.
An 8-hour split shift. I told you wouldn't have to work the morning shift.
Right, because you were going to move him.
It's not your fault. You choosing to do that shouldn't upset Ben and Woods. It shouldn't. That's on them.
What? Wait, what?
You heard me.
Paulie deciding he wants to...
Ben is sitting over there silent. I bet he agrees with me.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't you be mad? I would be mad.
I don't know that I'd be mad.
Not mad.
I don't get mad about a lot
You don't get
of
mad
things.
about anything.
I am perplexed, Adam, that you let it get to this point, because you're a manager. So, and you're a great...
So now you're taking shots at my man.
You're a great boss. I think Woods would agree with that as well.
My favorite
Best boss
I've ever had. Ever. Not close.
Sure seems like it.
It is. You are.
But you must know by now.
You must know.
You must know by now that part of managing is managing personalities. And
I didn't run this by Woods. I spoke directly to Paul on my right here, and he decided to share the information after turning it down and knowing it could have just stopped there.
You could have said to Paul, hey, let's keep this between us.
Yeah, you did not say that.
I don't think I need to do that.
That probably would have backfired
Woods,
anyway. There's no secrets in this room.
It was less than 30 seconds between you and me hanging up
literally
that he
was.
just randomly called me.
It was our daily call.
Had it been an hour, 4 hours later, whatever, I wouldn't even thought about it.
In a similar position to me in terms of your role with the show, knowing how Woods would react, chose to tell him.
I have a simple solution that's going to work out well for you, Adam. If you simply go to Woods before you make any decision and ask his input beforehand, he will then get so tired of you doing that he will no longer complain about any decision you make.
Everybody already knows Woods runs the station, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the bit.
But the thing is, he doesn't really want to. But if you actually solicited his input on everything, you'd be offering that great respect that he always craves.
Correct.
But he'd be so tired of you soliciting his input that he'd just say, you know what, I'm fine with whatever you decide.
Yeah. There's probably a little bit of truth in that from Ben.
I got a meeting coming up in a few hours. Woods, want to sit in on it with me?
I don't. I really don't. Again, I don't understand how I'm now being painted as the villain for just wanting his show to be together on a Friday and
selfish
and dominate. That's not selfish. That's not selfish.
That's the way you read. You thought about you first.
No, I didn't.
How is Paul being out going to impact you and your show?
Because Paul is integral to the success of this show.
Never said he wasn't.
He's integral.
Of course he is.
And our show is better with him here. So why would you punish your show here by taking a piece from it? That's what I think
you should eat a stale bean.
No, absolutely not. That's what's not making sense in my head. It's like all I wanted to do was come to work tomorrow and just kick ass. That's it. I just want to dominate the three of us. Just come in and kick ass.
You would kick ass no matter what.
That's not the case. Not the case always. So what are you going to do now?
Well, my backup plan fell through.
Okay.
We'll be going to, I think Braden is going to stick around and do an hour after Andy and Elston, so he'll do 2 to 3, and then he's got a cruise to go to football practice.
Just replay our show.
Replay our show.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
Nothing's happening between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. or whatever.
I hadn't thought of that.
It's still relevant.
Yeah. Does us a solid,
Paulie, we're going to need you to edit that up tightly after the show.
We will
really dial in our best segments.
We'll replay 3 hours or 4, depending on what Braden wants to do. Yeah, we'll replay Ben and Woods Friday into Friday afternoon.
Satan's Blowfish says, surprised Braden didn't jump on a chance to do his own Friday show. He would, but he's got a game. He's got a football game.
Braden has filled in a lot, and he relishes the opportunity, but he's a high school football coach.
I was
playoffs.
going to tell you, it's probably a bad time. The 3 of us are taking tomorrow morning off. We are going hiking. We're going on a hiking excursion.
It's a show excursion.
Yeah. And so... figure it out, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks for the heads up.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You realize that the nickname isn't as prominent anymore.
What's that?
Doesn't make as much sense lately.
Bald Rindle?
Rindle.
Yeah. Are you working on something up top there?
This is not a grow the fro situation. It's just
I wanted to tell you this. A friend of mine, we had dinner with recently, and he's a little younger than me, and he looked over at my hair.
So what does that mean, like 55?
Relax. He said, he looked over my hair. He goes, God, you got great hair. And I said, I feel so blessed to be almost 50 and still have a full head of hair. And he took his hat off. He goes, I'm going to, I want to say Hungary. I think it's Turkey or Hungary, one of the two, to get this
transplant?
Yes. But I go, well, they do it here. And he goes, not like this. And he showed me one of his friends. He goes, look at him. And I go, dude, he's one of the most handsome bald guys I've ever seen in my life. He goes, look at him now. And I went, oh my God. He goes, it's perfect. It's the only place they can do it.
So this is not like a George Costanza situation.
No, it's not a rug.
I heard you guys talking Seinfeld earlier.
It's not a rug. They fix it and they do it. And the guy, I go, my God, he's was as handsome as could be bald. He's one of the few guys that could really pull off the straight bald.
Like a Skip Schumacher.
You don't need hair. And I saw his new hair, and I went, oh, my God. So if you want me to look into it for you, I'd be happy to. You're going to go to Hungary.
Shaving my head was a choice. It wasn't because I was bald.
See,
what?
Oh, okay, nothing.
Say, you've already been killing me all morning anyways.
This is fascinating. Yeah, according to AI, Turkey is a popular destination for hair transplants because of its lower costs, experienced surgeons, and advanced technology. There is some risk, though, including the possibility of receiving a black market procedure from an unlicensed surgeon.
Well, he's out over there. He's going to be over there, like trying to talk to him and get the best deal that he can. I would go if I were you. If that's something you're interested in, I can get you the info.
I can grow my own hair. I'm good.
Are you? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
You're working on something for what?
I'm like 2 weeks in.
I'm fascinated by this. They call it medical tourism, where you fly to other countries.
I'm fascinated by it too.
I've heard, living in San Diego, you hear about people who go down to Tijuana for
get dental work,
just cheaper, whatever. The system just works better. It's easier to get prescriptions filled. I've never done it myself, but I certainly have heard of it. But flying around the world for treatments is something that, people absolutely do. And, not everything is available, legal, approved in every country, but in some other countries, and you want the latest, the most advanced stuff. I guess you go to Turkey for hair transplants.
And that's the weird part, too, is like, I know his wife, she's an absolute dime, and she adores him. I'm like, you don't have to do this. He's like, it's not about her. It's about the way I feel. And I said, all right, well, I support you, and good luck on your trip to Turkey. But so anyway, well, I think we've come to the
moral of the story is I'm never going to ask Paul again.
It's probably a good idea. How about this? I got one. Let's be
Paul. Could you make a graphic for the replay of our show though on Friday?
Paulie, if you want to do it, you tell him. How about that? Because you handle the schedule.
Yeah.
And if you see a hole in the schedule and say, you know what, I'll give this a shot, I will help you.
Well, what a lot of shows do
as long as you also work Ben and Woods that same day.
They have the producer actually host like the best of replay.
Yeah.
Where they'll set up the segments and then play
it.
Hey, and we were doing this. And,
yeah,
and
but
this
that's actually interesting.
That would work on a Friday morning.
Friday morning would be great.
It doesn't make sense
but not
at Friday
in the afternoon.
Not in the afternoon.
And the idea of whether it was a double shift day or sleeping in and getting ready to, because there ain't going to be sleeping in. Trust me, if I was hosting tomorrow afternoon, I'd be up at 4 a.m. panicking, freaking
Oh,
out.
yeah.
4 hours solo during the off season with not a lot to talk about.
And not a ton of like reps. You know what I mean? Like not a ton of reps over the years.
That's not even. That was.
I just don't think I deserve to be painted like a bad guy for offering the opportunity.
I don't think I deserve to be painted like a bad guy for just wanting my show together and wanting to win. That's it. That's where I stand.
Brand co-manager Stephen Woods.
Don't perpetuate that rumor, please, for the love of God.
All right, I'll talk to you right after the show.
All right.
Adam Klug, everybody.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Kluger.
Good to see you as
Never
always.
a shortage of content with our beloved Adam Klug.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We actually have another of the... It was very popular yesterday. I was surprised how many people were excited wanting to win the Del Mar Reptile Expo tickets. So we're going to do it again. When we come back, we got another pair of tickets for you for the Reptile Expo this weekend. And then John Ashworth's going to join us to share the very special guest coming to Goat Hill Park next week in Oceanside. It's a charity and a cause that is near and dear to us with our annual event. Ryle report coming up. Our football threesome still ahead as well. Don't go away. Ben and Woods continuing after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Okay, you ready? The way it's said properly is WNBC. This is key. Come on.
WNBC.
No. Gotta be more like this. Listen up. WNBC. You hear that? Kind of left there. NBC.
WNBC. WNBC.
Wider.
WNBC. In my mind, I'm hearing. It sounds like I'm saying exactly what you're saying.
No, actually.
WNBC.
You know what?
Let's go down to Amis's office, see how he does it. Mr. Amis, the best. That's our
Right,
boss.
and I hope you can get him. Because, see, you don't have a real good voice like Captain Frank. And
You don't have a good
You don't
voice.
have a real good voice. Can you imagine? Actually, I can. I can't imagine. That was our old station. That's exactly what it was like there.
It's
Poor
better
man.
here.
It's
Things
way
are better here.
better.
You know, I forgot to ask Adam while he was here. Probably could have given us some advice. So after the show, you and I are calling a San Diego State student who's doing like a media project and needed to interview someone in the business and wanted to talk to us. So we're going to call him. And I get the same questions from students who want to get into sports broadcasting every single year. They always ask, like, how do I get into the business? Yeah. And honestly, I still don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either.
Maybe Adam does. He actually could potentially hire someone. I've never hired anyone for the business, so I don't know what I'd be looking for if I was hiring someone. I'd hire someone like you.
I would hire someone like you or Paul. 100%.
But I'm not the one who does the hiring.
I would hire you both in a heartbeat.
What are the people who actually do the hiring looking for in this business?
And when do you know, it's just not like it used to be. I mean,
I
I
don't have internships. That's how I started.
Yeah.
Internship.
Yeah. I mean, I walked in the door of a radio station and well before I was on the air. Actually, I didn't. I was marched up to, my mom signed me up to go to this career counselor, and they happened to be in the same building as a 6-station conglomerate in Dallas. And she marched me up there, and the program director, the promotions director, his name was Lauren Condren, by the way. Lauren, I ended up naming my son that many, many years later. She cornered him on his way out. She's like, this kid is going to go places. He loves music. He loves radio. Give him a job. And he's like, call me tomorrow. So I called him, started in promotions, worked in promotions, started dating a sales girl, and got into sales. And then met a morning show, and the guys thought I would be good on the air, and 15 years later, they moved me out
And
here.
that is actually not an atypical story in this business. But I always feel bad because you have, people who grow up and they study broadcasting and broadcast journalism, and they try to get into the business, and then they always ask, okay, what societies do I need to join? How do I get in? And I go, honestly, it's perseverance and dumb luck. And I can't. I don't know how you can replace that dumb luck factor. Like, our show is dumb luck.
Purely.
It's pure dumb luck. We didn't even know each other. We were randomly put together. Yeah, it works. We worked hard. We are dedicated to our craft, but we're not the only people in broadcasting who are dedicated. I can't say that I'm sitting here because I wanted it more, or I love this more, or I'm just more talented than everybody else.
I can, but I mean, that's if you don't want to do that, then that's fine.
Sure, I do some things well. You do some things well. There's no doubt about that. But there's other people who can do this job. So much of it is
luck,
dumb luck.
Yeah.
And I always feel bad when I try. I don't want to discourage someone's dreams and go, yeah, you need to work hard. You need to be prepared for that opportunity if it comes. But how do you make that opportunity happen? Dumb luck. I don't know how you make that opportunity happen.
It's truly crazy. And there was a time in radio, I can remember a show out of San Francisco called Lamont and Tonelli. And I met them many, many years ago. And I think they were a morning show. They were wild. And I mean wild. When there used to be able to do things like this in radio. You know what they did? One guy used to stop by 7-Eleven every day to get his coffee. And the guy that worked at 7-Eleven had this incredible voice, and he was this incredible personality. And one of the guys, Lamont or Tonelli, was like, goes back to work, tells the co-host, they tell the boss, and the boss is like, yeah, bring him in. They bring the guy in out of 7-Eleven, and they turn him into a radio star. Like that. Those days are gone. If I met the next Howard Stern walking the street, I don't think I could get him hired here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And they did. There was an ability to take more risks and chances back in the day, and that's what's really makes it hard to stay in this business. Because getting in is one thing. I have always likened my career as to the salmon that is just completely upstream for 15 years of just grinding and trying to stay in it.
And there's so many things that are out of your control as well. I mean, the media market and, just the corporate structure. I mean, we've seen, radio news, not our company this week, but another radio company just had to let go tons of people.
Yeah, man.
Not because they were all bad workers or bad employees.
They weren't lazy.
That's rarely how it works. I'm sure in whatever job you work at, when they have layoffs, is it always just the 6 worst people who get fired? No, there's a lot of dumb luck that goes along with everything. And I hate to always say that because I feel like that's discouraging because I can't control that part of it. But you do have to be prepared and ready to take, advantage of an opportunity when it does present itself. You better grab hold of it.
Yeah, and you just grab hold and you don't let go. That's exactly what I've done. And I don't know how many more years are left, but I'm pretty proud of the fact that I haven't let go for all that time because it is such a good, fun job. And Tony in the chat says, well, they used to trust the talent to do the entertaining. And I will say, as much as I bust his nuts in there, that dude trusts me to do the entertaining every single day. Has never, ever told me.
Remarkably so.
Remarkably so. Even at his own expense. And, I just talked to him in the hallway. I was like, that wasn't personal at all. It wasn't meant to be personal at all. And I don't think he took it personally at all. But, yeah, it is a weird convo to have every single time somebody asks, how do you do this? I don't know. I got lucky. I mean, I can't tell somebody, go out and get lucky. It's the way it is.
So we'll have to do that after the show today and hopefully inspire someone and not crush their dreams.
Yeah.
Speaking of once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, how would you like to go to the first annual Del Mar San Diego Reptile Expo?
Literally first annual.
This weekend. You can be the first in the door.
Yeah.
I've got a free family 4-pack of tickets available to the third caller right now at 833-288-0973. I mean, every reptile you can imagine. I don't really know any of the details, but I'm imagining a lot of reptiles at a reptile expo. It's this weekend at the Hilton San Diego Del Mar. Get your tickets at Central Valley ReptileExpo.com. They don't even have their own San Diego ReptileExpo.com website yet. It is so new.
Yeah, fresh.
Get in the door early. 833-288-0973. When we come back, something that is near and dear to our hearts, we're going to talk to our friend John Ashworth, legendary golf business person, now runs Goat Hill Park up in Oceanside. They got their huge annual Wishbone Brawl coming up, and if you haven't heard who the headliner is,
holy smokes!
I mean, it's been Xander Schauffele for many years, and we've
Freddie
had Xander
Couples.
on. Freddie Couples, it was amazing. This is totally different. It'll surprise you, and you'll find out next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Got an interesting phone call there.
You got an interesting phone call.
No,
I got an
Paul
interesting
did.
email.
Oh, well,
I
we got
did,
the.
but it was for Ben.
Yeah, it was about you. Share with the audience the phone call we just got.
A former 10 News intern, Courtney, who called in and just was like hearing us talking about interns and getting into the business and wanted to congratulate me on our success.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my own personal success.
You're welcome.
It's a very nice, sweet thing of Courtney to do and call in.
So extolling your virtues.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Always
said, I
feels
bet.
good.
She goes, I guarantee you know a little something about getting ahead in this business.
I don't think I do. I still don't think I do. I appreciate the confidence that she has in me, and I'm just not sure that I have any idea what I'm doing still after 25 years in this business.
You remain my favorite human.
We got our guest on the line, but I did get an email. We'll talk about the Padres just made an announcement, and I just want to make sure everybody knows. They just announced that they are going to be remodeling the Western Metal Supply Company building this offseason. Some changes coming to the iconic structure down the left field line at Petco Park, and we can detail those a little bit later in the program, but rest assured, they got some big changes coming. They always seem to do something with the ballpark. Last year it was Gallagher Square and the redoing of that space. Now it's going to be the Western Metal Supply Company this offseason. Going to have a very different look next year.
The Ben and Woods Pavilion finally going in out there.
Yes.
Gosh,
Finally.
It's about time.
All right, we're going to check.
Pork.
We're going to
Petco
check
Pork.
traffic when we come back. John Ashworth is going to join us, talk about the upcoming Wishbone Brawl up at Goat Hill Park. That's next here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's go out, and we are joined right now. We have done this a couple of years in a row now, where we have talked about what is a really fun event. Every Thanksgiving time comes around. It's called the Wishbone Brawl. It's at Goat Hill Park up in Oceanside. It is going to take place next Saturday, the 23rd, starting at noon. And in the past, it's been kind of a golf exhibition featuring PGA Tour stars like Xander Schauffele. Fred Couples was here a couple of years ago. And the caretaker at Goat Hill Park is John Ashworth. And he's joining us right now to talk about this year's version of the event, which benefits the North County Junior Golf Association and the Leadership and Caddy Academy at Goat Hill Park, which is what our golf tournament benefited earlier this year. Good morning, John.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing great. Yeah,
I bet you are.
Good.
Well, this is quite a lineup you've assembled.
Yeah, we haven't
friend.
spilled the beans as to kind of the headliner this year. So let everybody know who's going to be at Goat Hill Park next Saturday.
Well, it's been these things are always pretty organic when they come together. Never quite know who's going to make it out, and this year was no exception. I mean, it was November 1st. I was about ready to pull the plug on it, honestly, and I had first gotten, I don't know if anybody's heard of Letta Lindley, but she won the U.S. Senior Women's Open this year. But the interesting thing is she grew up and learned how to play golf at Goat Hill Park. So Letta's coming, and her partner, this year we're going to do a mixed two-person scramble, and her partner is Bill Murray.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
That's right.
The Bill Murray.
The Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Not
the
a Bill Murray. The Bill Murray.
No, the Bill Murray. Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then another GOAT too is going to play, and that's Kelly Slater.
Unreal.
Who is basically a scratch golfer. He's arguably one of the best athletes on the planet, and for sure the best surfer that's ever lived.
Well, and
Kelly's going to be there.
He's a world-class surfer and a world-class golfer, but he's, you can't have it all. So, of course, God didn't make him so handsome and beautiful and attractive. I mean, the one thing I have over Kelly Slater is that I have hair. He doesn't, but I feel like if he wanted to grow hair, he could, overnight.
I mean, go to Turkey. I mean,
he's
get
so,
some if you wanted. But.
I've heard, I don't know him. I know you do, John. I've heard he is, also the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, no, he's just one of the best for sure.
Oh.
And I'm excited to have Kelly. And honestly, under the surface, both Bill and Kelly have been such supporters of what we've done at Goat Hill Park. I mean, honestly, without probably both their involvements, I doubt if we would have made it this far. So they've been huge supporters, and it's just, and I called on them this time because all the pro guys were, tied up. I mean, Xander, God bless him. He's one of the best of all time. And he's played 6 Wishbone Brawl. I mean, it's basically been his baby.
Yeah.
And he just said this year he couldn't make it because of other conflicts. And, he's had such a monster year too. And I think he really wanted to just chill out and, not do anything in the month of November. So that's obviously understandable. But then Fred couldn't make it, and Jeff Ogilvy couldn't make it. All these guys couldn't make it, and so that's what it's like. I called on these guys, and they're, and they're, obviously huge guys, and they're both a little wishy-washy, though. To be honest, you don't know.
I can see that.
You don't know, even if they say they're going to do something, they don't really quite know if they're going to show up, But I texted Bill and I said, hey, look, I think I'm going to pull the plug on this thing. I just can't get anybody's schedule to line up. We'll just take a year off and, we'll come back next year. And, he called me 5 minutes later and goes, no, we got to do this. I'm in. I'll be there.
Good strategy. Guilted him into it.
Guilt him into
it. That works
it.
with Woods, too,
It works with me, too.
So I've never asked you this, John. I've seen the pictures, Bill Murray in the Save Goat Hill T-shirt. How do you know Bill? What does that relationship date back to?
Well, probably about 10 years ago, we had some mutual golf friends, and this just cute little old lady up in Palma Valley who was a really good golfer, but he has one of his houses up in Palma Valley, and his kids actually went to a local school up there a lot, and so that was one of his good friends, and we ended up playing golf together, and had a great time. And it was right when we were saving Goat Hill Park. It was actually before I even met him. She told me, "Yeah, here's his address. Send him I was doing that whole Save Goat Hill thing, and I sent him a T-shirt with a letter, telling him what I was doing, and never thought I would even hear back from him, and I didn't for a while, and then all of a sudden, probably 2 months later, I get this really nice letter and a photograph. That photograph of him, which is iconic because he is on the 40th anniversary stage of Saturday Night Live in his tuxedo with his Save Goat Hill T-shirt underneath it.
Wow.
So he definitely put a lot of thought into it, and like all of a sudden, bang, this comes out of the blue and really gave us a shot in the arm. And then honestly, later on, then we played golf, got to know each other a little bit, and I was trying to save the goat, and I kind of needed some financial help, so I did a little round of investors, and I don't know how I got up the courage, but I asked him if he'd be interested, and sure enough, he was right there and wrote a check. So he's been a huge supporter of Goat Hill Park, and the cool thing about this event we put together is it really does so much good for the kids in our community, and that's why we do it. So it all goes to our kids programs, the North County Junior Golf and the Caddy and Leadership program at Goat Hill Park. So we see the benefits. It's really helping kids, and it's great. So it's the whole thing is just a fun day in the park, and I don't know what to expect this year. Honestly, you never know. I think it's going to be just a blast, and it looks like the weather's going to be good. So if anybody wants to, we still have tickets left. It's $50, and that all goes towards the charity. And you can go to goathillpark.com to get tickets, and we'd love to see people out there. Love to see. I hope you guys are coming. You're coming, right?
No, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I expect nothing less than a Cinderella story.
Oh no!
Next
Please don't.
Saturday.
Please don't, Ben. Oh no! I mean, so we're talking to our
crowd
pal.
is just on its feet here.
Cinderella boy, talking to our pal John Ashworth here on Ben and Woods this morning. So, I mean, like you mentioned it earlier that he's one of those guys. I mean, I've heard all the stories about him. Like, you have to send a script to like a random place, and he may read it and may show up to film the movie. I mean, are you nervous at all? Like, are you nervous at all that he just doesn't show? Yeah.
Woodsy, you're in.
You're the backup.
You're the backup.
All right, I'll take it.
You're on deck.
I'll take it. You see the look of disappointment in that young lady. She thought she was playing with Bill Murray. She's playing with Stephen Woods of the 22 handicap. What a nightmare. I mean, what's he like? What's he like to? Did I see a picture of all you guys at St. Andrews? Did I see that, or is that made up?
Yeah. That was a couple years ago, the Dunhill Cup, and we were all together there, so it was fun. But no, he's just a great guy. I mean, he's amazing. He's very funny too, and but he's got a big heart, and super guy.
Well, looking forward to it. Obviously, it'll be a different feel, but I love the GOAT. It's awesome. I'm always amazed by John Ashworth. You probably have seen Ashworth golf shirts. Mm-hmm. Made his name in the golf business making golf shirts, and now I've never seen him actually wearing a golf shirt because no one wears golf shirts at Goat Hill. They only wear T-shirts, and they play music, bring their dogs. It's casual. It's kind of changed the face of what golf is in a lot of places, and it's spreading that casual vibe for golf. And I think Goat Hill Park is one of the really first places that it's done it, and it's always amazing. It's my favorite spot in San Diego, John. So thank you for inviting me, and thank you for introducing and saving Goat Hill Park.
Yeah, and also, guys, I mean, Chris Riley, who is no slouch. I mean, he played on the Ryder Cup. He's playing. He's a great guy. He's playing. And then we also got the Laveo twins who, Benny, you've seen them play.
They've destroyed me many times at Goat Hill Park.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's going to be some serious golf going on, too, and just a lot of laughs and a good time. So, anyway, that's the deal. And we need a rematch, too, guys. I mean,
we do. For sure.
You guys are hiding. So, I mean, we need to
My game's not exactly in A form right now.
Haven't played in months.
Yeah. So, John, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
brother.
again, goathillpark.com for the Wishbone Brawl tickets. It's next Saturday. Starts at noon. You can show up a little bit early. And there's no ropes or anything. Like, you go to the...
No, it's old-fashioned.
Yeah, you just walk along the fairways with everyone. Just stay out of the way of
Bill
everyone.
Murray.
Yeah, stay out of the way of the shots, and you're fine. And just go and stay. Go the whole time. You go for 9 holes, whatever. It's a lot of fun. Thanks so much, John.
Thanks, guys.
John Ashworth, the
great
caretaker at Goat Hill Park.
One of the biggest Padres fans you'll ever meet as well. I mean, playing golf with John is an honor, and it's just nuts. I mean, I grew up, my dad was an Ashworth lover. Like, every shirt he had was Ashworth, and like to be buddies with him is a trip.
I haven't really thought about it, but he's got a lot of Peter Seidler
Big
in
time.
him
100%.
as well. As unpretentious as a successful person.
Charitable.
Like Peter. Just charitable,
Very
always
much
thinking
so.
about the community and others. Obviously was hugely successful in business, but you'd never know it when you run into him. When I first met him, it was kind of like, You're
him?
John
I know.
Ashworth.
Yeah, because look, there's a stigma that comes with
of course,
old school golfers. You're like, all right, bro. It's why I didn't play for many, many years. And I was like, but then you meet a guy like John, and I mean, the guy still hits with persimmon woods. Who does that in the year 2024? He does it on purpose, and he strokes it. Like, it's a trip, man. It's a trip. So, yeah, Bill Murray's going to be there, which is just insane. Kelly Slater, legendary. That's going to be a great day. When is it?
It's next Saturday, the 23rd.
Okay.
So Saturday before Thanksgiving.
My dad will be in town.
Oh, cool.
Oh, boy. I think I know what we're doing.
And yeah, it's just a casual vibe, and everybody's out there. There's usually food trucks, and people are having beers and
John
walking
and Goat
around.
Hill, they're the antithesis of stereotypical country club golf.
Correct.
They're it has a reputation, and it is stuffy at times, a lot of times.
How weird is it that homeboy over
I
here
know.
to my left? That's
I know.
that's the place that he's found. You found
you can go up to Goat Hill right now and be shirtless, flip flops,
shoeless,
bring your dog out there. It's to just get people, especially kids, involved with the sport.
It's so
But
cool.
everybody respects the game.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's not a free for all.
Yeah, it's not about social status or the persnickety rules of golf. It's about respecting the game, but also just having fun and being relaxed and casual.
Yeah, and it also, of course, will absolutely kick your teeth down your throat. Okay? Just so you know.
It's not long.
It will kick your teeth down your throat.
It is challenging to play.
Oh,
no doubt
my
about
Lord.
that.
Best round I ever had there was par what?
65.
I shot a 69 or 70?
70
on New Year's Day, remember? And I almost beat you. That was the closest I've ever been.
It's there's I think it's 8 par 3s, 9 par 4s, and 1 par 5.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, the charity, the North County Junior Golf and the Caddy and Leadership Academy, they just provided 2 scholarships for 2 girls who are going to go to the University of Washington, full ride, who have been caddies at Goat Hill Park for the last few years, twin sisters. It's an amazing thing. It really is great for kids to not just get involved in the game, but they interact with adults and they go, and it really builds a lot of skills. So I'm a big fan of it, and that's why we supported it with our golf tournament earlier this year as well.
And I really hope John will have us back next year for the Ben & Woods Open. It was really a phenomenal experience. Phenomenal experience. He's a phenomenal guy.
So anyway, if you don't have plans next Saturday and you're going to be up in North County, if you haven't checked out Goat Hill Park, it's just fun to walk around. It's a good hike. Bring your walking shoes.
Ooh, is it ever?
Yeah, you get some exercise going up and down the hills.
I just got the Jones to play for the first time in a while since talking to John. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we'll support.
Paulie has got our Rindle report when we come back.
Some breaking baseball news.
All right, breaking baseball news. We can give you some more details on the remodel of the Western Metal Supply Company building as well. And we got our football threesome ahead, so stay tuned. Final hour of Ben & Woods coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Always impressed. The Padres dedicated to keeping Petco Park looking. I always like to say brand new, but it's always better than new. Actually, it's a much better ballpark than it was when it opened 20 years ago. Anyone disagree with that statement?
I mean, it's improved dramatically since I've been here for 15 years.
It's weird to look at pictures from like 2007 and see like the old board with the just yellow lights or whatever. It just looks so weird. And I'm sure it was state of the art then. It looked great, but to compare it now to 2005 or whatever.
I mean, I'm looking at these renovations that are going down. It looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I'll say this. I guess I didn't think about, I go to the team store a lot. A lot. Yeah, almost every
More
home.
than most people I know.
Correct. And it's mostly against my will with my wife. She drags me there and has spent the gross national product of some small countries at that team store. It's like she can't get enough merch. And I'm like, you have so much merch. You can't wear 14 jackets. And but she takes me to the team store. And I'm always like, oh, cool, it's a team store. But when I saw the renovation of it, I instantly realized, oh yeah, you probably did need a little freshening up.
Well, when they first designed it, it was probably with the thought that there'll be 4 people in there at any one moment, and hopefully they'll sell 1 or 2 hats a day.
I mean,
now you walk
like
in on a game
wildfire.
day, and there are 800 people in the team store, and the line is like Disneyland for Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's crazy.
To check out and buy Padres merchandise. I don't think they could have anticipated that when they designed the ballpark, that the Padres would be as popular as they are today. So here are some of the details that the Padres announced this morning about what they're going to redo with the Western Metal Supply Company. The rooftop. They're going to upgrade with 4,000 square foot raised deck, new and improved sight lines to help watch the game, plus 2 new video boards, 16 feet by 9 feet, so you can watch the action up there, even if you can't quite see over the edge. You don't get a space right on the edge. You'll still be able to watch the game. Plus, and I don't quite get this one yet, a new feature wall on the field-facing side, which will light up, including the night sky, for celebratory moments. I parse those words. I'm not sure they totally make sense to me, but...
Say it again.
All right. There will be a new feature wall on the field-facing side.
Okay.
Which will light up, including the night sky, for celebratory moments.
Light up.
I think that's, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I think that's the graphic that I'm showing right now, that SD that lights up, that's facing the field, right?
Okay.
Ooh,
all right.
yes,
All
okay.
right. So the top wall, not the entire facing of the building with the bricks, but a wall right at the top where like the like where they sell the beer up there, and then facing the field will then light up. I don't know what including the night sky means. You can't make the night sky light up, can you?
Fireworks.
Well, that's true. I guess you can light up the night sky in that way. For celebratory moments, I would think home runs and wins be the celebratory moments. And then there's going to be a redo of the Budweiser loft as well, and the foul pole suite adjacent to the Budweiser loft, an entertainment suite, and, of course, the Padres' new era team store renovations as well, all inside the Western Metal Supply Company.
Nice. Okay.
So those are some of the announcements made by the Padres today. And you think about, again, I always like to compare it to Chase Field. Chase Field is literally, 4 years older than Petco Park, and they're ready to take a wrecking ball.
It's a dump, man. Yeah. Not a great
It's a
experience.
Dump. And Petco Park is better than it's ever been and continues to get better every single season.
Yeah, and so you know that the questions are going to come, right, about money.
Like, how do you pay for it?
Well, not so much how do you pay for it, but does this preclude you from spending? And I would say it's probably different buckets. Yes?
I would say so as well. Yeah. This definitely doesn't apply to like the luxury tax threshold.
Correct.
For your roster.
Correct.
This is something that they are very committed.
This isn't going to stop
them to doing.
From getting your 2 key off-season targets of Lance Lynn and Hai-Sung Kim, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Not key targets,
You
under
said,
the radar
You said
targets.
no, the guys that could help us.
There's a difference.
Your 2 picks to click of Lance Lynn and Hai-Sung Kim. Yeah?
All right, Paulie, it's your turn now.
Take us away, Paulie.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
Paulie, I'm so glad that you have this segment to scratch your hosting and creative itch that you have. So take it away.
You mean I can talk?
Yes, you're
This is
allowed to
awesome.
talk. Isn't this great?
This is awesome, and I don't have to come back in the afternoon. How about that?
Scratch away, buddy.
All right, we will start off in Major League Baseball. Some breaking news just in the last few minutes. Everybody's been concerned about the Tampa Bay Rays. Where are they going to play in 2025? Of course, I guess if you don't know or forgot, the Tropicana Stadium has been completely torn apart by the hurricane. A few weeks back, the roof was just completely ripped off, basically. It was like a, for lack of a better term, tough tarp type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was completely ripped off, ripped to shreds. Pieces were found all over the stadium, and the repairs were like over $50 million.
55.
Yeah, $55 million. They're planning to move in 2026.
Well, they're building the stadium. It's going to be ready in 2028.
2028.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, you don't want to spend $50-60 million for a temporary fix. So where are the Rays going to play? And it has just been announced here in the last few minutes that they are going to be playing at least the 2025 season at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. That is the spring training complex and home.
Yes, you nailed it.
The Kansas City.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the New York Yankees. Asked and answered. They said that the Trop will be replayable again in 2026. So they're going to play 1 year.
So they are going to spend the money to fix
the
it for 2 years, and then move out of the place. See, I wouldn't do that.
We're just going to stay here at Steinbrenner Field
for 3 years. Well, there's already one American League team playing in a minor league ballpark for the next 3 years. Why not make it 2 at the same time?
Such such an allure to a potential free agent as well. If you're the GM of the Rays right now, today, are you like, I'm going on vacation? I'm like, there's no need for me to do anything.
A's, Rays, poverty franchises in the American League. Now, Padres, I believe, don't go to Tampa Bay this year.
They go to Sacramento, I believe.
They do go to Sacramento. They don't go to Tampa, so Tampa comes to Petco Park, so they won't have to play at Steinbrenner Field. They will play at the Sacramento ballpark against AF. Early in the season, right? It's the first month. I think they're going up there one of the first series. Yeah.
But, I mean, look, this seems like the best case scenario for them.
Yeah,
right?
for
I mean, I'm sure it's a nice complex. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I know it's low-hanging fruit, but I don't think attendance is going to, be an issue.
It's fair, actually. You might actually do better.
Like, I have no idea how much, like, the Peoria Sports Complex holds. 10,000?
About 10,000.
Is that right? That much?
Well, if you
With the
pack the
lawn.
berms on the lawn,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true,
it gets
the lawn.
10,000. I don't think there's 10,000 seats, but...
So if you figured it's anything similar to that in Tampa, I think they'll be okay.
Steinbrenner Field has an 11,026 seat capacity. That's way better than the Rays do. Way better.
Generally.
It shouldn't be too hard to get tickets still.
Yeah.
At that capacity.
Yeah.
How far is it away from Tampa?
Outdoors, too?
It says it's in Tampa.
It's actually in Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. Keep everything close. All right, over to the NFL and sports media. John Gruden is back.
Got a new gig.
Kind of. He's back in the limelight at least. He has signed a multi-year deal, reportedly, with Barstool Sports. John Gruden, of course, everybody knows the Gruden name, but yeah, he's been kind of laying low for the last few years after the scandal he was involved in, or not involved in, but responsible for. He has nobody to blame but himself. The emails that got leaked out from his computer and his accounts full of racist, homophobic comments. It was not good. He is still in the process of suing the NFL. Now, Boomer Esiason on his show in New York, I guess, what's today, Thursday? So yesterday morning said he thinks sooner rather than later, John Gruden will be back on an NFL sideline. He really wants to get back. I don't know if that would have to require dropping your lawsuit against the NFL.
And quitting your Barstool job.
Yeah, but as of now, he's got the Barstool gig, still trying to sue the NFL. I don't know what grounds he has. Like, he clearly did what he's accused of.
That's fair.
But yeah, John Gruden trying to get back. I know he's been doing weird TikToks recently.
Don't you do a good John Gruden impression, Paulie?
Probably. Yeah, I used to.
It's been a while since you broke that one out.
Maybe you save it for your Friday night show.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man.
Could have just done 4 hours of John Gruden.
No, that's all I can say.
Yeah,
that's all he says.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah, tell you what.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man.
It's perfect.
I would say that
play some pigskin.
John Gruden's best argument for getting back into the NFL is always the worst argument for someone who has been accused or shown to be, less than a, savory human being.
Right.
That he says, I mean, I'm not saying anything that 1,000 other people in the NFL aren't already doing. They just haven't been exposed doing it, which is true, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a really great argument, just be better.
Is the way back to the NFL, though, joining the famous NFL agitators Barstool and Dave Portnoy? You know what I mean? I would imagine he's going to make some decent money there.
I'm sure,
But
they haven't really defined what he's going to do.
Yeah, but Goodell and Portnoy are vicious rivals, and that'll be interesting to see what they do.
Boomer Esiason, his quote was, "I can confirm that he definitely wants to get back in 100%. I can also confirm, and I believe this to be true, this is my opinion after speaking to at least 2 different people involved in coaching searches and things of that nature, that there are teams interested in him, and if it's not this year, it's next year. He's coming back. He's definitely coming back." That was Boomer Esiason, so we'll see. I don't know that that's the NFL. I was going to say, I don't know that you can take the risk of bringing in John Gruden, but it's the NFL.
It's the NFL,
They don't care. All right, and then finally, I saw this last night, heard this last night before bed, and thought, that's enough internet for me.
More Hawk Tua?
No, but it's cringe audio for sure. I say it's cringe. It is cringe audio. The story behind it, it's kind of sweet. Mark Zuckerberg has a new song out with T-Pain.
Okay.
They're going under the label of Z-Pain.
I want off the ride soon. Dude.
When I saw Gruden. Mark Zuckerberg has a cover of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Get Low.
Get Low.
I go, oh, no.
Yeah. You've done it. You've rapped it before.
I couldn't find it, but I'm almost certain.
To the window, to the wall.
You know the song.
To the sweat drip down.
So Mark Zuckerberg.
What was that hand motion you just did?
Down below.
Wow.
That was weird. Mark Zuckerberg, obviously, he's got enough money to make anything happen that he wants to. So he got in the studio with T-Pain, recorded a cover of Get Low. And the reason he did Get Low of all songs, it was a gift to his wife.
Okay.
Priscilla Chan, I believe is her name. And it was a gift to her because he said, "Happy date-iversary, babe." On their first date, wherever they were, that song, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, was playing. So it's kind of a thing in between them, a little inside joke that is their song or whatever. So he got with T-Pain and recorded the censored version that I have for you here of Get Low.
Okay.
This is Z-Pain.
Acoustic.
369, damn, you're fine. Hoping you can sock it to me, baby, one more time. Get low, 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 get low. From the window.
All right, no, it's terrible.
To the wall.
Oh, just wait.
Till the sweat drops down my, till all these skeet, mother. Oh, skeet, skeet. Damn. Oh, skeet, skeet, mother. Oh, skeet, skeet. Damn, shorty crunk. So fresh, so clean. Can't you that question's been harassing me in the mind.
Never heard
This
anyone
girl
sound
is so
more white
fine. I
than
done
that,
come to this
ever.
club about 11 times. Can I play with your panty line? Club owner said I need to calm down. Security guard is sweating me now. I got drunk and a mother threatened me now. 369. Damn.
So by most estimates, this is the third richest person on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Worth over $200 billion. And he put a lot of that into trying to make that sound as good as possible, I think.
Yeah, he did. He's it's funny. When I was on my Hawaiian vacation last year, he has bought up a huge chunk of Kauai. And my father-in-law was showing me like all the area that he bought, and apparently he's doing like really good stuff over there to like help a ton of people and like to conserve the land. I was like, oh, that's at least good to hear.
I mean, if you've got $200 billion and you're not doing some good stuff, then you're the worst person.
Well,
ever.
I mean, think about it though. Like, think about if you bought up some part of Kauai and you're like, you're just gonna rip this all down and build a giant, amusement park. Like, no, dude, no.
Zuck World.
Yeah, Zuck World. You're like, no, man. Well, and as I told you, in Kauai, if they didn't like it, they would just burn it down.
Yeah.
That's what they do. If you build something they don't like, they literally just light it on fire.
I done come to this club about 11 times. Can I play with your panty line?
That is something else. That is something.
All I can think now is Mark Zuckerberg. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. I mean, truly. Now, again, that could change, certainly. But that was terrible. It was terrible.
$200 billion.
Too much money, man. It's too much.
You know what?
How do you manage
I am
it?
a capitalist, but I do feel like there are a few people on Earth who have too much money.
How do you manage that?
You don't.
You don't. Interesting. Thank you, Paulie. Appreciate it. Great job.
Hey, thanks.
You should be a host.
How much money do you think is enough money?
$3 million. $3 million.
Okay, no, I think that's not quite enough.
No, like $3 million liquid in the bank. $3 million is all you need.
Well, that's enough for you. But
My family.
you want to take care of, your kids and your kids' kids.
They can work. Dude, go work.
But Mark Zuckerberg can literally take care of everyone's kids.
Everyone's children.
Enough in what sense? Like to never have to work a day in your life and live a long, healthy life?
If I had $3 million in the bank today, I would never see you guys
For
again.
you.
For me. That's all I need.
I think that you would spend that naturally before you quicker than you think.
I think
Interest
that's
alone
not enough.
would be fine. I think.
No, I think you'd need more.
I was thinking like 10.
10? Jeez, you guys have caviar tastes.
No, I don't. I really don't think so. I mean, imagine. All right, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, which is a good salary. So that's 10 years. You'd make $1 million. 30 years, you'd make $3 million. So you figure like you need, and things are only going to get more expensive. So if you want to live basically the lifestyle of someone who makes $100,000 a year for 30 years, you're going to need more than $3 million.
Yeah.
Simple, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a lot of interests other than like vinyl. I'm not going to spend all that money on vinyl.
No, but you pay like $700 for your cable bill
It's
every
true.
month.
Yeah, I do. It's gone up too recently. I had to get on the phone with them. Whittle it down. How much do you need?
To it's done. I'm retired. I feel good about everything.
5, 10?
I think closer to 10.
$10 million you need to retire.
Wow. At least in California, yeah.
Well, at this age, I mean, obviously if you're older, you probably don't need quite as much, hopefully.
To just live a normal life but not work, you still got to pay.
Let's say you cleared $3 million. You cleared it after taxes. You got, you're
All right, so there's no taxes owed on the 3. That it would go a little further.
Your net
then.
3, yeah.
I mean, have you already paid for your house and everything?
Yeah, house is paid off.
All right, then you probably could
100%
feel pretty comfortable there. If it's all just,
cash.
Adam says in the chat, there are people in California here that make $100,000 a year and are still struggling.
Oh, absolutely.
I promise you that's
absolutely. With the cost
100%.
of everything, rent, or mortgages, cars, gas, of course. Yeah, that's not. You're not living a freewheeling.
It's a hell of a lot of money
lifestyle,
up
even-
front, and it is a lot of money. It doesn't just sound like a lot. It is, but to spend that over 30, 40
Zach
years.
says $3 million a year. $3 million
Not
in the
a
bank.
year.
Or, no, $3 million earns $120K a year sitting in HSA. I don't know what that is. Something savings account. What does H mean?
You got to dip into it if you're not working. If you're just
120K.
rent, your loans, whatever.
You got $120K that you're
That's
making
pretty
off
good,
interest.
then.
That's good. Yeah, you got a house.
You've already got your house.
Yeah.
All right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. High yield savings, of course. Obviously.
Wouldn't that be HYS?
Zach hit me up. Yeah.
I just need the $3 million. Then.
Health savings
account. We're ready to go.
All right.
Health savings account. So what you used to pay your doctor?
$120K.
I thought you could only pay your doctor with that. I'm confused now. Maybe Mark,
$10 million
maybe
is
Mark
a lot of money.
Zuckerberg would like to fund our experiment to see how much it would take for us all to just retire now.
I don't need a lot. I really don't.
Football threesome is coming up.
Love a good threesome.
I have a question for you guys. Am I just a Charger hater?
Yeah, you
or am I actually perceptive that they're not as good as people are saying?
I think you're a hater.
We'll get to that next after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it!
We're talking end-arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
And we will start our NFL threesome, as we do each week, with a look ahead to tonight's matchup here on 97.3 The Fan. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, buddy.
NFC East, first place on the line as the Washington Commanders at 7-3 visit the Philadelphia Eagles at 7-2. First of two meetings between the two teams. They will meet again just before Christmas, but the winner is now in control in the division because obviously the Cowboys and Giants are non-factors. So It's going to be one of these two teams that wins the NFC East, and the winner of tonight's game has a real leg up in that chase.
Yeah, it'd be my first time sitting down watching Jaden Daniels tonight. I've seen, highlights and this and that.
Fun to watch.
Fun to watch, right? And Jalen Hurts is actually, he's my fantasy quarterback, so he's actually been doing pretty good. That's two really good, tough teams. I'm excited to watch this game tonight.
They lost last week. Commanders, though, still, I think, one of the good, interesting stories in football this year. Saw someone with the Eagles. So they're 7-2. They're the Eagles. They've had a lot of success recently. And I think I saw someone tweet that it seems like everybody but Eagles fans feel like the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders.
It's so
but
true.
Eagles fans are not all that enthused and confident about this year's version of the team. Every story I see is like Nick Sirianni's an idiot, doesn't know what he's doing.
Hot seat,
But
right, yeah.
They're 7-2, so he must be doing something right. I guess we'll see a more of an up-close version of it tonight.
Yeah, I see the same sentiment from Eagles fans. You would think that they've won one game this year, honestly, every time I see them tweeting.
Part two of our football threesome, best matchup of the week.
We're probably going to all agree on
well,
this one.
Well, there's two choices, I think, on Sundays. There's a morning choice and an afternoon choice. In the morning, Ravens-Steelers is an outstanding matchup.
Yep.
That's
A
true.
rivalry. I had not realized, I read this yesterday, that Lamar Jackson does not play well against the Steelers. He's 1-3, tends to struggle, and that game is on the road, and obviously both of those teams division rivals and fighting for first place in the AFC North.
Baltimore's favored in that game.
They are,
but keep in mind, Jackson has not been at his best against the Steelers, even though he's been a two-time MVP. So that's your morning game, and then obviously the afternoon 1:25 game, Chiefs and Bills.
Phenomenal
always
game.
Seems like they play epic contests.
I was Googled this morning to check out against the spread, like what teams perform best against the spread, and one of tonight's participants, the Washington Commanders, they are the best in the NFL against the spread. Pittsburgh tied with them for first place against the spread, and Pittsburgh's going to be, as you said, favored by 3 points, I believe is what I have.
Baltimore favored.
I'm sorry, Baltimore favored by 3. Yes, Baltimore -3, Pittsburgh +3. So, but against the spread, take Pittsburgh in the points. Yeah.
Is that your pick?
No.
Because that's part 3 of our football
that's not my pick.
threesome.
I'm just telling you.
That
that's
is, you could
your
make that
intriguing
pick.
game. You could pick that.
But what is your actual pick then this week?
It's a great question. Why don't you come back to me?
All right, I will start then, and this is why.
Oh, I know where he's going here. Oh, boy.
So there's been a lot of hype
There's
surrounding.
been a lot of hype.
Jim Harbaugh and the 6-3 Los Angeles Chargers.
I think for good reason.
I don't think for good reason. Did you know that 5 of those 6 wins have come against 2 or 3 win teams? If they weren't 6-3, it would be actually a real problem at this point. It would show something is going wrong with the Los Angeles Chargers. Their only even semi-decent win is over the Broncos, a very mediocre Broncos team. But every other win is against the dregs of football. So they've gotten, they haven't lost a game that they shouldn't have lost. But let me know when they actually win an impressive game. So my pick for the Sunday night matchup was actually flexed into the Sunday night matchup. Give me the Bengals getting 1.5 points They will be playing in front of a very pro-Bengals crowd in Los Angeles, as every road team does at SoFi Stadium. So that's not a disadvantage. I don't know. I'm getting points. I will take Joe Burrow and the Bengals and prove to me, Jim Harbaugh, that you can actually beat. And not that the Bengals are that good; they've got a losing record as well. But I think they might be the best that the Chargers have faced in a while.
I like the Chiefs-Bills matchup. Obviously, is a really intriguing one, and the line is the Chiefs are +2, and it's one of those deals. It's like, Patrick, you're giving, and I know they have not been the most prolific offense this year, but anytime you can get the Chiefs and the refs and the points, you take it every single time. And if I lose, okay, so be it. I still think it was a smart bet.
Do you get the refs on the road, or do they only get them at home? I don't know.
From what I understand, according to my Twitter
Everywhere.
feed, it's every single game. So I'll take the Chiefs plus those 2 points.
I would have probably taken Buffalo at home because the Chiefs, they have looked so
They're
beatable.
due to lose, aren't they?
They are due to lose.
I kind of agree with Paulie.
Do we think Josh Allen's not
Overdue.
going to throw 3 picks that game?
At this point, I probably expect the Chiefs to win another Super Bowl. They'll turn it on when it matters in January. But up until this point, they're 8-0, 9-0, whatever they are.
Yeah.
The games that I've watched, I'm like, they have just barely skated by to stay undefeated. I think Buffalo gets them this week. The only other matchup that I would look at betting-wise is the Jets are hosting the Colts, and the Colts are making another quarterback change. They're going back to Richardson now. The Jets are favored by 4 points, and they're just a bad football team.
I won big last week. I told you. Why are the Cardinals getting any points against the Jets? That's insane. And it was. The Cardinals won. What was the final? 30.
They crushed them.
31-6.
Yeah, you won that bet.
I won that one easily.
I think my Lions did not cover. They won the game, but they did not
Only
cover.
by 3.
Yeah,
the Texans.
6.5 was the pick.
And I'm watching. I'm looking at the roster that the Jets have. They have Aaron Rodgers, who even at his age, he's at least at one point was one of the greatest to ever spin a football. And I'm like, you think they're gonna get back on track at some point?
And they just seemingly don't.
You know, Devontae Adams is gonna mesh well with that offense at some point. They just haven't done it, and they look like they haven't gelled yet. They just look like a bad football team.
So Aaron Rodgers said yesterday, when he was asked, is he going to play again in 2026? He said, I think so. If you're a Jets fan, is that good news
25.
or bad news? I mean, in 2025,
Yeah.
I think so. Is that good or bad news?
Well, they will. I think the Jets fans that I know will still tell you, like, he's the truth, and they're still so excited to have him.
He's like 26th in quarterback
it's
rating
bad.
or whatever
Yeah.
this year. He's not having a good season.
Yeah.
You can't just blame the rest of the Jets on
you fired the coach.
On the struggles. You fired the coach. Yep. You spent money to put pieces around Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
Father time comes for everybody.
He hasn't been good. He's not the only guy who hasn't been good, but he hasn't been good. You got a good running back, Breece Hall's.
Yeah, very good.
A good running back. You've paying, a good defense, a good offensive line. They're not performing though. What is wrong with the Jets? And is it Aaron Rodgers? Now they actually have an option. It's like $30 million or something to bring him back. They don't have to bring him back if they don't want to. Even if he wants to come back, they can just say no, thank you. Goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's an actual dilemma for the Jets this offseason.
Yeah, as do I. But I mean, I feel like they'll want to run it back one more time. The promise of Aaron Rodgers' greatness, it's just not there right now.
All right, that's our football threesome. We will come back, finish up, get back to maybe a little more Padres talk. We had some early discussions about Roki Sasaki and some new thoughts on where he might land. We can bring some of that back. And I didn't get any of your under-the-radar free agent picks. Maybe mine are so out there that there's really no point
I'm
in trying to...
I'm kind of scared to do them now.
No point in trying to dig deeper than I've already dug this morning. But we can wrap up with some Padres talk and more. Final segment of Ben and Woods coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
rattled, are you, right now?
I'm not rattled in the sense that you're not. There's no revelation here that I don't already know.
Right.
What was it? Chris in the chat said a fun bit would be to phone Shelly, my wife, get the truth about Ben's listening skills. The truth is they're horrible. I am not good at least processing what I'm listening to. I can listen. I'm curious. I don't feel like it's not like I think I have all the answers and I don't care what other people have to say. That's not it. But clearly, you can talk to me, and I will miss half of what you're saying.
Literally, half.
I will.
Half.
And I don't know why. It's, like the first thing you say, I will, listen to that. But then I'll start thinking about it, and then I'll miss everything else. Like, I just go right to processing what I'm hearing.
You want to do, process and then response.
Right.
We go to marriage counseling every 2 weeks, and it's part of the thing in there. Hannah's the same way as you. So I have one at work, and I have one at home. And you might tend to see me get very boisterous and loud. Sometimes I even stand up in the morning when before the show starts. It's because I'm never heard. No one ever hears me. So that's why I raise my voice. That's why I'm passionate, and because no one hears me. My work husband doesn't hear me. My real wife doesn't hear me. And I talk to her, and I'm like, I'm talking to a blank wall.
We both care about you, though.
Of course. And I know you do, both of you, 100%. But it's the reason for my behavior is I'm never heard or seen. And so it's like a big, big thing. So I said it last time. I was like, I get it at work. I get it at home. I said, Paulie's a great listener. Paulie, I vent to Paulie all the time. He's a great listener. He's great.
Not always while the headphones are on, though, and he's working on something.
Right.
That's the thing.
He's working.
He's not usually venting to me when I'm working.
That's true.
I'm not a good multitasker.
No,
I know
not
that.
at all.
I have a one-track mind.
Yes.
And it can do...
Boobs.
Actually, it's
Hooter
rarely.
research. See?
But if
Booty,
I'm like
booty,
thinking
booty,
about,
booty,
rocking
everywhere.
What am I going to tease for this next segment or whatever?
Correct.
All of a sudden, I can't listen to you anymore.
Do you think?
I know.
What's my next question going to be if we're doing an interview? Like, okay, this would be an interesting question. But as soon as I start thinking about that, the listening goes out the window.
So, yeah, it's like Satan's Blowfish says, it's not that surprising that a man who is paid to talk is constantly focused on what he's going to say. So oftentimes we'll be talking, and I'll be looking at you in the eye like this, and I see the glaze go over your face and eyes, and I see your cues are, I'm done listening. I'm ready to not talk and prove you wrong, but it's more of like, I've got to get this liner out, or I've got to get this order of business. Now, it comes with the territory of being like the driver of the show, and it's hard. Which is why when I have to drive, I'm horrible at it. I don't remember when traffic is. I don't remember what liners to read. I'm not
But you
good
are
at that.
also in the moment, and you are present.
Yes.
But you miss all the things that you're supposed to do, because if you are in the moment and present, like, I'll lose what I was going to say.
Correct.
I'll lose what I was supposed to do next if I'm listening completely to what you're saying.
I've told my wife before, too, I do this thing now with her. If she's talking to me, I'll say, do you want a solution or do you want an ear?
Oh,
right? You want an ear?
It's
or
two very different things.
Yeah. You want an ear or do you want a solution? And she'll tell me, and I'll say, okay. And then I'll listen, then I'll say, all right, what I would do is blank. Make that phone call, whatever. Or sometimes I just sit and go, oh, really? No kidding. Oh, that is, I say it all the time. I need to be, it's a crass term, but I need to be neck effed. Where you just, I know, that's crazy. Yeah, he is a jerk. No kidding, right? Not always solving. Paulie's an elite neck effer. Elite, he just goes, I know, totally. Benny, you're more contrarian. Like giving me the other side. And so I'll often say, I don't want to debate. I'm not trying to debate you. I just want to get this off my chest and let me move on with my day. And you and Hannah are both, you want to solve it. And then you look at me and you're like, oh, he's worked up. Let me try to tamp the flame down a little bit. And it doesn't work with people like me. So you have to neck F me. You have to go, yeah, okay.
Chris says Ben likes being right, not learning.
He loves
everyone
to learn.
likes being right to a certain extent, but
Sure.
I love learning about things. I'm a very curious person, and I'm open-minded as well. Most people get pretty stuck in their opinions. I will change my mind.
He will.
If you present a good argument, I am more than happy to change my mind on something.
I got some tips for you. You ready?
Okay.
All right, I pulled these off the internet, so you know they're good. To become a better active listener, you can give your full attention. Okay? Show your listening. Body language, nodding, practice. Nodding,
Okay.
smiling, smile, and lean in. Okay? Nodding. He's way close to me right now. Leaning in and smiling. Maintain eye contact for 50 to 70% of the time.
This all feels like making it look like you're a good listener, though.
I feel the same
I don't
way.
know how that's actually helping me listen at all.
Ask open-ended questions.
Now all I'm thinking about is smiling, and I'm really not hearing what you're saying.
Nodding,
Smiling and nodding. I have no
I
idea
hear
what
nothing.
you're saying. I'm just smiling
You just look
and
like a
nodding.
psychopath.
Yeah, he's just leaning in, nodding, smiling. Him rolling his chair over close to me would freak me out so bad in the morning.
I'm listening.
Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh, I wish there was some sort of like test or something that we could take, or like some sort of seminar. Paulie's wife said this in the chat, and I tend to agree. I mean, you've probably never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm sure you have a little bit of it. I feel like we all do.
I don't know, like, technically what that really entails, but I can also get very focused.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and be undistractable.
I think it's like a little too focused.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
one
It's almost the
one
opposite
track
of it.
mind. Like I'm going to say this next
Yes.
thought,
no
no matter what, and I'm actually going to just talk right over Sal Paolantonio before I forget this thought.
Right.
Now, I can focus through a million distractions on one thing and one thing only sometimes. I don't know if that's ADHD or the opposite of it, like too focused.
Well, and one thing, and that's what I've tried to do with us and you and in here, is sometimes you just got to let it go, and you don't have to smile and nod at me. It's actually the worst thing ever. Please, I'd rather you frown and shake your head side to side than smile and nod at me. Be a little bit more present in the moment, and you don't always have to get back to the Padres or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like riffing is such a big. It's a learned skill, and when it's done right, it's the best radio you can do. But like our conversations as friends outside of here, they're fine. I mean, it's on what I'm talking about. It really is on air, and but outside, the light turns off. You're just a normal guy. I mean, on air.
I don't really think that's true, but thank you.
No,
for
it's
that.
true. It's true. It's true. Now, see, Paulie's giving you the traffic sign. Look at you. You let it go
You're not
for
even
so
looking.
long. It's great. That's
I'm
great.
processing
it.
And now we'll throw to traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Look at you.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Soapy Joe's Car Wash online stocking stuffer. Got a number of things wrapping up our morning drive, guys. Northbound side of the 805 near Plaza Boulevard. Accident in middle lanes up ahead before the 8 collision. That's been moved over to the right shoulder. Also traveling west on the 8 before the 15. Accident involving a couple vehicles. Trying to get that out of the slow lane. I'm afraid with the colder weather, we might start seeing more of this sort of thing, guys. Hate to say it. Westbound side of the 54 before National City, an encampment fire reported over to the right shoulder. Also reports of a collision on the College Avenue on-ramp to westbound King Freeway. Soapy Joe's believes in the magic of the holiday season. Give the gift of clean and shine. Now buy 4 washes, get 2 free. This is an online exclusive stocking stuffer. Visit SoapyJoesCarWash.com for more details. Hurry. Offer ends December 23rd. Happy holidays from Soapy Joe's. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
But don't spin yourself out.
Oh, it's too late.
No, don't spin yourself out. Don't beat yourself up about this.
Yeah, I will also find that
I love it about you sometimes.
if I'm focused on something, if I'm reading something or I'm watching something or I'm listening to something else, and someone will come in the room, my wife or my son, and they will start talking to me. I won't even realize they've started talking until like 20 or 30 seconds in, and I'll go, "Oh wait, are you talking to me?"
Talking to me?
And I've already missed, the conversation. Like, oh, I guess
And
I was
that's
supposed
frustrating.
to be. Yeah, it's frustrating to everybody, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I'm expected to have known what they were talking about. And I didn't even realize that I was in a conversation to begin with.
Have you tried smiling and nodding when they walk in a room? Just immediately start smiling,
You know, and
nodding.
it shouldn't have to be on the other person to go, okay, I need your attention now. Like, this is the time for you to, okay, do I have your attention now? Once you have it, you have it.
You have
it entirely, 100%.
Megan
Getting
says,
it is tough.
Megan says, poor Paul's such a good listener. He listens to me repeat stories over and over again. Paulie really isn't. He's in the elite. I recommend you calling him also once a day to get whatever you need off your chest. Even if it's about me, I don't care. Call Paulie to vent. He's such a good listener.
I just need Paulie to listen to other people for me if he's such a good listener.
Oh, okay.
I could hire him as he's my listener.
Your liaison.
Yeah.
Your listening liaison.
My professional listener
I like
that I have. Are we done?
Jack just starts calling me, and then I relay it back to you.
All right, good show today. We will wrap things up on a Friday tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Annie and Elston coming up next.
Paul,
For
you'll
Paul
be here
the
tomorrow,
listener.
yeah?
Woodsy,
Okay, good. I'll be here.
I'm Ben. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a great Thursday, everybody.